Well, welcome once again to Lancashire Cricket TV. Here we are at Emirates Old Trafford, and rather fittingly the sun has decided at this moment to pierce through the clouds as we welcome you for our second match of our double-header today here at Old Trafford, and it will be a thrilling one, and it has so much riding on it too. Lancashire Lightning against Northamptonshire Steelbacks here in the Vitality Blast North Group game. If you were with us earlier, you would have seen an extraordinary performance by Emma Lamb as she took the Thunder to victory over the Sunrisers in the Charlotte Edwards Cup. That was a game based on the extraordinary performance of one person, and it just so happens that our guest tonight on Lancashire Cricket TV can claim to be an extraordinary performer of his own. I'm trying to say it out of earshot because he'll get really annoyed with me for building him up quite so much. But ladies and gentlemen, will you please welcome Mr. James Anderson. Hi Jimmy, how are you?
Good evening, I'm good, thank you.
It's nice to see you.
Good to be here.
Nice to see you in the red rose.
Yeah, it's nice to, it's not very often I get to put it on, so nice that I'm being able to be here tonight.
I'm wondering, every time you get back to your locker in the dressing room, have they re-upped you with all the free gear?
Well, funnily enough, when I got back from my last stint with England, my locker had been ousted and Finn Allen was in my spot. So I've managed to get him out and I've got my space back.
Oh, well, you did that, did you? Did you ask him?
He did. He sort of moved. He saw my face as I walked in and saw the horror look on my face, and he moved himself.
Yes, we all know that, don't we? Talk to us about the significance of this match for the Lightning, because it has been an up and down campaign so far. These three last home games starting tonight, absolutely crucial. Yeah,
huge. I think it's it's fortunate we're at home. We know the sort of dimensions of the ground, we know the wicket very well, so it's kind of a place where we've had success before. But yeah, it's a huge game for both teams, and well, all three remaining games are huge games for Lancashire.
And knowing that that is the case is often comforting, isn't it? But there's no jeopardy apart from the fact that you've got to win them. There's no sense of choice. There's no sense of what might be. It is win them, and that's crucial.
Yeah, well, they must win games. It's like, a final almost. Every game is a final. You go into it knowing exactly what you've got to do. You've got to leave absolutely everything on the field, perform at your absolute best. Every man, all 11 players out there trying to do as much as they can to win the game for Lancs.
Well, Jimmy will be with us throughout the preamble to this game, and you'll notice if I send you in that direction that the toss is about to take place. We'll have a word with the captains when they are done and introduce you to the team news as well, but that is about to take place with our umpires today, Neil Pratt and Peter Hartley. We will leave you with the action from the toss and return to speak to the captains very shortly. So you'll notice that Dane Villas is going to join me because he is the person who has won the toss. He knows the rigmarole. Oh, you lost the toss. Well, where's Josh gone? Josh has run off. So I'll tell you what, we'll get Josh back in a minute. Okay. In that case, Dane, tell us what Josh has decided to do.
They've decided to have a bat first, which is unsurprising. I think we would have done the same as well, but saying that, it's not too bad. Hopefully we can do a reversal of what the ladies did.
Yeah, absolutely. What a performance that was, batting first. I know you prefer to bat first, but chasing offers you a different challenge today.
Absolutely. Well, at least we know what we need to chase, and you never know on a hybrid wicket like this. It is a bit different, so hopefully we can knock them off if they post a score.
Tell us about the words that you've said amongst your team. I know you've been busy this week with the championship game, but the words that you've said leading up to this game, because you know exactly what you have to do the last three, but starting tonight.
Absolutely. We know we've got to win all three games, and we've got to avenge the defeat that we had against these guys the other night, so hopefully we can do that. It's a crunch time for us now, and we just need to go out and win.
Do you appreciate the fact that you know exactly what you need to do?
Yeah, obviously we always want to win games, we always want to do that, but now it just makes things a little bit easier that we've got no other choice.
And the benefits of doing those three games, all of them here?
Yeah, fantastic. It's always nice to play here, so hopefully we can put in a good performance and play well.
Now you've had to release Saki Mahmood and Matt Parkinson, of course, who played ever so well for England yesterday. So you've been forced to change your team. Tell us a little bit about what your team is today.
Yeah, so Liam Hurd comes in for Saki and Lammy comes in for Parky. Obviously 2 good players and 2 quality guys, and hopefully they get a good run.
We wish you well. Thank you very much indeed. That's Dane Villas, and we've managed to rescue Josh, who ran away. You won the toss, but you didn't want to celebrate it with us. Josh, you decided that you want to bat first. Tell us why on this particular track.
We feel that we've got the bowlers for this ground to, hopefully if we can get a score on the board, they can do a good job for us second half. And
as we look at the table, and we've just been having the same conversation with Dane, you know that there is at least enough of a gap between you and the top 4 that you can bridge. So you're determined to do the same as what Lancashire are.
Yeah, same as what Dane just said. We're 3 games left and we need to win all 3 to give ourselves a chance. So, pretty simple for us.
And how much heart do you take from the first game against Lancashire, which of course you won?
Yeah, obviously we take plenty of confidence. I think we've won 4 out of the last 5, so there's plenty of confidence going into today. But we know Lancs are going to top side, whatever side they put out, so it'll be a challenge.
Have you been able to put your finger on the fact that the first 5 or 6 games were very different to the 5 or 6 games that have gone after that?
Not yet, but I think at the end of the tournament we'll obviously have a sit down and have a look back through. Yeah, like I say, it's been a tale of 2 halves, but we're on the second half, which is going positive for us at the minute, so long may that continue.
And tell us about your team, Josh.
We're the same team as last game.
We wish you well. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you very much.
So Josh has won the toss, and it means that Northamptonshire are going to have a bat first. We'll have the confirmed team news with you shortly. And just a reminder, if you are watching wherever you are all around the world, you can get involved in a virtual draw here at Emirates Old Trafford today. It'll be taking place at the interval between these 2 innings. And you can do so by heading to lancashirecricket.co.uk/store. That's lancashirecricket.co.uk/store. There is a little foundation tab, and as everybody here inside the ground and no doubt all around the world knows that the foundation do extraordinary work in the region, and you can contribute to that work by buying a ticket for the draw. lancashirecricket.co.uk/store. Hit the foundation tab and you may well win a Lancashire Lightning shirt signed by your favourite Lightning player. That's all to come, but now some reaction from the first game and looking ahead to the second game too.
Today we're supporting through the energy check, basically rewarding a volunteer who's been a massive part to the local cricket club Winton.
Like I say, it took me by surprise when Gary phoned me, and I realised it was after the 1st of April, so I thought it's not a joke that he's putting on me. So I thought, well, all I do, I just wander around the streets collecting money.
Mike has been working for Lancashire Cricket as a lottery collector on behalf of Winton for the last 20 years really. Must have raised in excess of £20,000 for the club, going out every other Thursday night collecting around the local housing estate that have all supported the local club.
It's guys like the volunteer who's won there, who's absolutely amazing work, helps run this club.
It's been brilliant. I can't say enough about him. He's a first class guy really. The lottery we started 27 years ago, one of the main aspects of that was the support of local community clubs, and obviously the likes of Winton. I mean, we've got over 70 clubs now that have linked into the lottery.
Whenever we need money, committee members or folks tell me and say, can we get X amount because we need like a new shutter for the door or the nets over there.
Those earnings really go a long way to help the day-to-day runnings of a cricket club. They can spend those funds on new cricket balls, nets, new rollers, anything they like really. Over £20,000 in that time has gone into Winton, which I think has been brilliant.
And then we got the grant for the 3-lane nets, and they've been up there 3 years now, I think.
Without the likes of these cricket clubs and grassroots clubs, you're not going to see the progression from the kids coming through up to the senior teams. So it's really important for me to really reward the people that are keeping these clubs like Winton going.
My local clubs, they normally go unnoticed, kind of like the unsung heroes, but I think what we're doing, it's really pleasing to see, giving back to local communities.
Rob Jones has joined us to have a look ahead to this absolutely crucial match tonight for you. It's been a difficult campaign so far, because when you've been good, you've been really good, and when you've fallen short, you've often fallen short in kind of desperate, close circumstances. Very much the case at Headingley the other day. So how is the team feeling ahead of these last 3 big games for you?
Yeah, I think we certainly know the importance of these. The group's really tight. you know, we've just got to try and win 3 out of 3, and hopefully that we can qualify. And I think tonight, obviously, we could try and kick off. We're winning tonight. It's just a massive, massive game, and you know, we know the importance of it. We're going to speak about that, and I think it's going to be who assess the conditions the most tonight, maybe. But yes, it's so crucial that we win, and we'll give it a red hot crack anyway. So yeah.
Yeah, it's a thrilling situation because clearly you know exactly what you need to do, but you also know that you need to do it here at home. So what's the benefit of having it in your own hands, but having it here too?
Yeah, our record here is outstanding. You know, this year, obviously, we've won games at home. We've struggled away from home. So we know what we do well here, and we play really well here. So, like I say, I think we've just got to assess the conditions. Obviously, we're missing Parky and Saki, which is a bit of a big loss, but you know, we've got the players coming in that can do the job. Like I say, our record here is brilliant, so we've just got to hopefully win tonight and start that momentum going into the quarterfinals, hopefully.
Yeah, talk to us a little bit about your own form, because the last 2 games for the team have been 1 win and 1 defeat, but your consistency has been very much at the heart of the batting performance, particularly at Headingley. Talk to us about a little bit of a kind of an awakening, if you like, for Rob Jones and the T20 team.
Yeah, obviously started well in the 2s. I didn't play the first few games here, but in the 2s I had some form, which was nice, and I thought over the last couple of games controlled the situation pretty well. I've done what I've done in the 2s, and I think I just found a bit of confidence, you know, and it's just a case about momentum, T20, and that's the case with the team and individuals, you know, so sort of got a roll, and as soon as you know your role and you're clear about that, then it makes it a lot easier. So like I say, in the middle order there, I know what I need to do, and then hopefully get myself in and try and push on towards the end. So yeah.
Because there's always been value in the top order of the Lancashire side. We've known that. We've talked about it a lot. But there is also value in that middle order, that finisher position. Do you fancy being that guy?
Yeah, I'd love to be. I'd love to try and win games of cricket for Lancs. That is ultimately what it's about. And if I can be that person to be known as a finisher or something like that, and hopefully start my career that way in T20, you know, it goes a long way to try and win games of cricket. And it, like you say, it's a crucial role, and if I can perfect that, then yeah, happy days.
Well, go well tonight. We look forward to watching you. Thank you, Bob.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
So if you're just joining us, the toss has taken place in the middle. It had been won by Josh Cobb, the Northamptonshire Steelbacks captain, and they've decided that they would like to bat first for this North Group game, the Vitality Blast. A crucial one for both sides, looking upwards at the moment at that top 4, but still with a chance of reaching it, and of course getting to the quarterfinals, the Vitality Blast. Here are the 2 confirmed teams then to bring you, starting with the Steelbacks. It is as your scorecard if you have bought one for this evening's game. It's number 57, Ben Curran, 27, Ricardo Vasconcelos, number 4 is the captain, Josh Cobb, 77, Mohamed Nabi, number 21 is Rob Keogh, 45, Wayne Parnell, number 18 is Saif Zaib, number 12, Tom Taylor, number 87, Graham White, number 20 is Brandon Glover, and 29, Freddie Heldreich. So the Lancashire Lightning squad, and make them feel very welcome here at Emirates Old Trafford. Number 32 is Finn Allen. Number 1 is Keaton Jennings. Number 17 is Alex Davis. Number 33, the skipper, Dane Villas. Number 15 is Stephen Croft. Number 12 is Rob Jones. Number 3 for the Lightning is Luke Wells. Number 14, Luke Wood. Number 26 is Danny Lamb. Number 2, Tom Hartley. And number 22 is Liam Hurt. So you rejoin us here with Mr. James Anderson, who's very kindly agreed to spend some time with us before this game. Jimmy, if we could just have a word about your exploits this week, because it was a historic week for you. An extraordinary thing, if people watching on the stream, as you took those 7 wickets in that first innings, including against Kent, including, of course, your 1,000th first-class wicket, although you weren't particularly aware that it was your 1,000th.
I genuinely wasn't aware of it. I knew I was in the sort of region, but I wasn't sure exactly which one or exactly what number I was on. So I just thought the lads were over celebrating for a 5-wicket haul. They were getting a bit giddy about it, but it was Yeah, when I saw it come up on the big screen, it was just a really special feeling. And I think to do it here as well, a place where I've not only took my first class wicket, I came here as a kid supporting Lancashire. Dream come true to play for this county, and then to get 1,000 wickets here, it just made it really special.
It's like me when I play golf. You get a number so high, eventually you stop counting. I wonder if it's similar to that.
Similar.
Okay,
similar.
thank you. You could have been much more polite then, but you weren't, understandably. But there is I imagine for a lot of people, not just you, but to see you do it at the James Anderson end, there is a kind of historic nature about your career and your achievements, and there is that cliche about you thinking about it after you finished. But you're still going, so we have to do it now. And so there is a sense, is there not, of absolute pride that you've achieved everything that you have here, and you were able to do that here too? Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, I do think about it quite often, and I still have to pinch myself that I get to do this as a job. And I feel fortunate as well at the age that I am. I know a lot of people retire a lot earlier than the age I've got to, so I'm fortunate I'm still being able to play the game. But yeah, I think this is a really special place for me, Old Trafford, because, as I said, I was a supporter as a kid. To play here and seeing the ground transform into what is now one of the best grounds in the world, and being able to play here, I feel very fortunate. And in saying that, I do play a lot for England, so when I come back here, I do have a sense of wanting to sort of pay back the club that's actually helped me develop into the player that I am.
And it's an interesting, it's a 2/3 third split, if you like, 600 plus for England, 300 plus for Lancashire. So you have contributed a huge amount to Lancashire over the years, statistically, never mind anything else.
Well, yeah, I've played, I think, 80-odd games for Lancs, and I've played 160 for England, so it's just, incredible that I've been able to do that. But, as I said, Lancashire actually developed me as a sort of teenager into then a young sort of 22, 23-year-old. The influence that the coaches here had, the senior players, the amazing players that we had around that time, all helped me become the player that I have. So, I don't play very often for Lancs, but when I do get the opportunity, it's really special.
And a final point on this, and we'll come back and have another conversation with Jimmy in just a moment, but there is also an element when you are achieving these things that it can get a little bit tired. Oh, I've got to this mark, I've got to this mark. But there are some things which are genuinely very special, and 1,000 first-class wickets surely is one of those things.
Yeah, it is. I think because there are, certainly in the recent past, there are very few people that have done it. It's likely that there won't be many people that do it in the future as well. So it is a very special milestone, and it felt the other day when I got there, and now when I'm talking about it, it feels more special than anything else I've achieved in my career. So I'll keep saying it, to do it here, to do it with the lads here, it's that extra special feeling.
And with one of the best spells of your life as well, the best spells statistically as well, but one of the best that you must have felt in terms of your rhythm and the way that you play.
Well, yeah, again, the lads were happy with that. Career best means that I've got to buy a round for them at some point. So, I think what made me happy the other day was the fact that I felt rusty in the New Zealand Test Series. I came away from that wanting to work on some things. I went away in the nets, just worked as hard as I possibly could. I had an amazing net with Josh Bohannon, just the two of us, a couple of days out of that Kent game. And we came away, it was a really tough contest between the two of us, and we both felt like we got a lot from that practice. And then when you work hard and then you see it pay off in the game, that makes it just so satisfying when you see that work paying off.
And when you bought a round, you bought one for Coach Glenn Chappell, who of course is just short of 1,000 first-class wickets, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he was pleased because you did it for his team, but I imagine that it's still a little bit annoyed.
It's something that gets brought up quite a lot, because we at the time, around the time he was retiring, we kept saying just a couple more games and you'll get there, because he's that close. And someone who really deserved it as well. The way he bowled throughout his career and what he did for Lancashire Cricket Club, he absolutely deserved it.
Well, I know there are people watching here today and all around the world who are incredibly proud of that achievement. I know you are too, so it's nice that we're able to share it at least a tiny little bit with you. We're back with Jimmy Anderson very shortly. Reminded that the Steelbacks have won the toss. They will be batting first in this T20 match tonight on Lancashire Cricket TV.
Well, it's that time again. Time for a bit of rock and roll. Huge wicket.
Oh, have a look at that.
That's brilliant. What a catch. And boy, did they need that.
Well, this is punishing stuff from David Milan. He keeps going and going.
Oh, excellent catch.
God, what a delivery. That is an absolute beauty. That is magnificent.
Got to be quick here. Oh, brilliant, world-class David Willey.
Oh, he's gone again. He's gone again, this time straight. Running round. Oh, that's incredible. What a catch. Huge wicket. That could be the game right there. He's got him. It's 7. Unbelievable. Oh, no. Would you believe it?
It's the Notts Outlaws, 2020 champions. Brilliant performance.
Well, just over 10 minutes to go until we get underway here at Emirates Old Trafford. We are about to watch, in the company of Scott Reed and his team, and we'll be joining the commentary team shortly, the Northamptonshire Steelbacks bat first against the Lancashire Lightning. It's a crucial game in T20 competition. Jimmy Anderson is still with us, and Jimmy, just a quick word on England's summer so far and what's to come, because the India Test Series is one that we're all looking forward to, including the match here in September, of course, and then the Ashes to come. When you sit mid-season like this and you realise what's to come, are you appreciative of the very short break that you have?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, it's a bit of a sort of tricky schedule with the 2 first-class games for Lancashire here, the 2 championship games sort of in the middle of nowhere a little bit. They're a couple of weeks after the New Zealand series just gone, and obviously a couple of weeks away from that India series. But yeah, it's nice to get some cricket in now, and then hopefully be fresh for that India series when it does come around.
And you mentioned the net that you had and the spell that you had here. Clearly, I mean, do we get to see you in prime form then for the first match against India?
Well, I hope so. Yeah, that's the idea. You know, it's key to try and once you do find something that works in a practice session, try and keep that going. Don't think that you've just solved it and you rest on your laurels. You try and keep that going, keep working on those little things that try and help you improve every day.
And it's been a difficult period for England because, of course, you've had to manage so many different bubbles, so many series in so many different places, with those contraventions of the rules so difficult to avoid. So I imagine, and I know Joe Root said this, that this period from now on, it's like all guns blazing, try and work almost without that very much in the background, going at 100%.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it has been difficult with the restrictions and everything, but now, you know, yeah, that's sort of out of the window. We've got to focus on playing our best cricket against India, and to do that, we need everyone fit, we need everyone available. So we've got to make sure that firstly happens, and then we've got to play our best cricket because India are a very strong side. We didn't play our best against New Zealand by any stretch, so we know we've got improvements to make. And yeah, as I said, we've got to play out of our skin to beat India.
And when you watch from afar, because it's in the white ball cricket that we're seeing, I mean, Liam's out there at the moment, not at the moment, because obviously he's part of the squad that had to be pushed to one side. But Saqib Mahmood's there, Matt Parkinson, 6 wickets between them in the first of the ODIs against Pakistan. You must just have that nice little link and think, they're my boys and they're representing England via Lancashire.
Yeah, absolutely. It's so good to see them. They deserve their chance. They've worked so hard for Lancashire. They've put in performances after performances, and they're in good form this year in both red and white ball cricket, and they've been around the England setup as well for a little bit of time now. So it is strange circumstances that they get their opportunity, but they've got it and they've absolutely taken it with both hands. And I just hope they can kick on from here.
And I'm sure you're nice to them when they get involved in the Red Bull stuff and you're there as well.
Of course, yeah.
Of course, he says. Absolutely. Jim, it's been wonderful to have you. We'll have a little chat a little bit later on as well, but we are just a few moments away now from the beginning of the Vitality Blast North Group game. The Lancashire Lightning will be bowling first after the Steelbacks won the toss. Lots to look forward to. There is so much on the line in this game, and you'll enjoy it in the company of the BBC's Scott Reed.
There's 2 teams already above. Yeah, Worcester win 2 games and there's a third. So you're fighting for 1 spot at 15 points. Lancashire, different conversation. They're at 10 points. They can get to 16. You know, who knows? At 16, they've got more of a chance. So I think, yeah, Northants have got it all to do, really, for me. I think they're out of it.
Oh, it's interesting. I mean, David Ripley is talking about this, what the chances Northamptonshire have got. And I have to say, I was just talking on BBC Radio Northampton a few minutes ago and saying, well, if that result goes this way, that result goes this way, that result. So we've sort of put in our order for what we want for all the rest of the matches in terms of who wants to win. David Ripley has said Northamptonshire, the only chance they've got really is realistically to finish 4th. They're not going to, obviously not going to finish 1st or 2nd, probably not 3rd. He thinks there is still an outside chance, and he's quite honest about it, that 15 points, as you quite rightly say, may not be enough. But he's saying there is a chance with 15 points to finish 4th. And I think it was Adam Rossington, when he was still captaining the side, that until such time as it is not possible to qualify, they've just got to go on the basis that we've got to try and win every game and see what happens. You never know. You know, you might get a bit of rain around somewhere, or it might just work in Northamptonshire's favour. All they can do is just keep winning and see what happens, I think.
Yeah, rightly so. Exactly. If they lose tonight, I think they're out of it.
Oh, absolutely.
And I think they know that. But yeah, why not? And they got, as I say, I think they've got nothing to lose in this fixture. They they're staring down the barrel, being probably out of the competition. So, you know, it's a cup final for Northamptonshire. As so it is for Lancashire to a degree. Lancashire need the wins. They can't keep thinking they're going to get they've got games left. If Lancs don't win this game and they're on 10 points, then there changes for them as well. They're going to get to 14 and there's going to be a challenge for them. So it's a big game in the context.
As we welcome BBC Radio Lancashire to Emirates Old Trafford, and about 5 minutes away from the start of the game here, and just run us through the Northants team, Andrew. What were we expecting?
Well, we've got Ricardo Vasconcelos and Ben Curran, who were the sort of the new look opening pair, came together in the match against whichever the one before Durham was. It was against Leicestershire. They all fade into one against Leicestershire when it didn't work, and then against Durham they put on 100 in 9 overs at the start of that particular match. Ben Curran making his first half century in T20 cricket, 50 off 19 balls. Standing ovation from the sort of 800 and so Northamptonshire people in the ground that night. So he's got another go tonight. Then Rob Keogh, obviously experienced player, Wayne Parnell, Mohammed Nabi, who we probably haven't seen the best of with the bat so far. He's been outstanding with the ball, been Northampton's most economical bowler, going at less than a run a ball, but he hasn't really fired with the bat yet. Josh Cobb, obviously the captain, Saif Zaib, Tom Taylor, the all-rounder Graham White, Northampton's now leading wicket-taker in T20 cricket. Brandon Glover, the quick bowler from the Netherlands via South Africa, and the left-arm wrist spinner Freddie Heldrick, who's going to have a game tonight as well. His fourth match in the competition, and the first 3 has been pretty impressive.
Lancashire, just to recap, have made 2 changes, both in force, with Saqib Mahmood and Matt Parkinson away on England duty. So Liam Hurt and Danny Lamb come into the team for Lancashire. That's the 2 changes that they made from the defeat at Yorkshire in their last game. So Finn Allen, Keaton Jennings, Alex Davis, Dane Villas, Rob Jones, Stephen Croft, Luke Wells, Luke Wood, Tom Hartley, and then Lamb and Hurt complete the Lancashire lineup. We're about 4 minutes away from the start of play. Crowd building up very nicely indeed, as it's capped at the kind of 4,500 mark with the limited capacity here at Emirates Old Trafford. We see the arrival of our umpires as well, making their way out. Looking forward to a good game of T20 Blast cricket. As we've been saying, there's basically no margin for error for neither Lightning nor the Steelbacks. I know what they're going to do, both these sides, and that's to come here and win. You look through that Northants team, Paul, you'd have played against pretty much all of them. I mean, there's some very good T20 players in that Steelback side.
I've played with some as well. So
I was hesitant. I thought you might have done, but I wasn't entirely certain.
I have played with some of the players as well. Look, Northampton have been a very, very good T20 cricket team in recent times. I think we underestimate that and we forget that sometimes. We know what Lancashire can do. We know what they've done over a number of years. But Northampton have been a wonderful, wonderful T20 short form team. So they've got a slightly different looking team and some new faces and some new players that have come in and trying to make the name for themselves, but they're still going to be a force to be reckoned with, and they've got some incredible power. Cobb and Vasconcelos and Nabi and players like that. They're very dangerous T20 cricketers, and obviously they've got some experience in White and something different with Freddie Hoadley into bowling his left arm tweakers. Or spinners or whatever.
Yeah, he's been a little bit of a left field selection, but it's certainly been one that's paid dividends, and I think it just energised the side, just freshened the side up a little bit. And I think the move to put Ricardo Vasconcelos in at the top of the order, which has been talked about for a long time, David Ripley sort of grasped the nettle this year as far as Richard Levy was concerned, and again, it's been successful so far.
So it's 6 against 7th in the North Group. Lancashire Lightning with 4 wins from 11, 10 points. Northamptonshire Steelbacks, 4 wins from 11, 9 points. Notts atop. Yorkshire a 2nd, Worcestershire a 3rd, Durham a 4th, Birmingham Bears a 5th. A reminder for you, the top 4 qualify for the quarter-finals. 4th spot is Durham on 11 points, who are here next. Lancashire Lightning have got this game here this evening, and then Durham and Yorkshire still to play. The remaining 3 games all at Old Trafford. Stephen Croft is going to open things up from the Jimmy Anderson end with Ricardo Vasconcelos, the man on strike. And he's just tweaking his field. What's he got here? He's got a long off and a deep mid-wicket with the 2 outside the circle, so the game is up and running as Croft comes in, bowling in sunglasses. A little forward defensive from Vasconcelos. I get quite excited at seeing them in a T20 match. Little forward press. Have that back, Stephen Croft. Just want a little feel bat on ball. Croft in. Clipped away towards wide mid-on for a single this time. And Steelbacks are up and running. The forecast is clear for the evening. A bit of sunshine actually now, which is quite nice. Floodlights are on, but it's nice and bright at the minute. And we've got a clear, dry forecast for this Friday evening blast game at Emirates Old Trafford as we come towards the back end of the group stage. Points are priceless as Croft is in bowling to Curran. Little dab around the corner towards backward square leg, pick up and throw from Liam Hurt. They've got through for a single, so Curran is up and running as well. Steelbacks 2 without loss, with Vasconcelos back on strike. All the stands are open tonight, and everyone's all dotted around as he's swept and stopped really well by Keaton Jennings inside the circle. It's a good low dive. He doesn't stop a run, mind you, but he certainly stops a boundary. I think his height helped them, Paul.
Yeah, it was a really full stretch dive from Keaton Jennings there, and it's great.
I love the penguin impression. Very impressive.
And when he got up.
Croft in and bowling. Up and over mid-off, out towards Davis, in fact. That's Curran gone. Wicket inside the first over. Caught at long off by Alex Davis. And Northamptonshire Steelbacks are 3 for 1 in the first. Croft with a wicket for Lightning.
It's a shame that for Northampton. Obviously a great start for Stephen Croft on the Lancashire side. He's tried to go over wide, extra cover there. He's got long off. Alex Davis is out at long off. He's tried to hit inside out and go over cover, and he just got it too straight and held out at long off. He'll be really disappointed with that. It's a good opportunity on what looks a fantastic wicket at Old Trafford tonight to get in and put on a show and continue the good form, but it's not going to be for Ben Curran tonight, sadly.
And Josh Cobb, new batsman to join Ricardo Vasconcelos. I say a comfortable catch. I mean, no catch is comfortable. You've still got to take it, haven't you? But there's some of the spectacular grabs that you see in T20 cricket, one right down the throat. Happy days is what you want, isn't it?
Yeah, I think running in a few steps and then getting into the midriff and catching it, it is a simple catch for for the players who are on this field today. Yeah, yes. Anything that you're diving is probably a bit harder, but in running a bit more. But Alex Davis, 3 or 4 steps and catch it. He's used to catching balls, isn't he? He's a keeper by trade, so Yeah, but he didn't have any gloves on, but I would expect him to catch 100 out of them.
I reckon Paul Horton, T20 skipper, wouldn't be happy had he put that down. Here's Croft into to Cobb. It's pushed along through mid-on for a single. Keeps the strike as well. First over done. And Cobb's on 1 and Vasconcelos is on 2. And a wicket in the first over. And the Steelbacks are 4 for 1.
It's everything you want from the first over. To pick up a wicket early, it sets the tone for the fielding side, and it's a tactic Lancashire have used a long time. Stephen Croft bowling the first over, and the lack of pace off the ball, and it is suited. It suits Old Trafford with the big boundaries, especially one side. Stephen Croft bowling off spin to the big boundary, so the lack of pace on the ball up front, yeah, is a really good option. And as we see, Hartley's coming on from the other end, so it's a theme that Lancashire are going to continue with. And this will be an idea, a theory on the opposition and the top 3 of Northampton. You know, Ben Curran, Vasconcelos and Cobb are used to the ball coming on. They will want the ball coming onto the bat, as most top order players do and opening batters do. So it's it could be a really good tactic here for Lancashire to spin up top.
It is going to be Tom Hartley, the left arm spinner, to start from the end, just underneath our commentary box, and that's a dot ball to start with. Bowling into Josh Cobb, playing it up towards mid-on, and Hartley, alert to the possibility of a possible single, scampers away to his right and fields. In again, bowling round the wicket to Cobb, drives down the ground. He's going to pick up just a single, as it's fielded down there by Alex Davis, underneath us. And one more onto the total, 5 for 1. Yes, I was doing all the counterintuitive stuff on BBC Radio Northampton. They said it's a bit of a murky evening here in Northampton. I said, oh, come to Manchester. It's cracking the flags here. Beautiful evening. Sunshine, floodlights on, of course. Still the spectators filing in at the far end, and most of the balconies on the hotel are occupied as well at the far end of the ground. Hartley bowling over the wicket to the left-handed Vasconcelos, who drops it down on the onside. They come through for 1, think about 2, but there's not a second. Smartly fielded by Alex Davis, running in off the boundary, and they settle for 1. Vasconcelos to 3, Northamptonshire to 6 for 1, having lost Ben Curran in the first over. Certainly the spin up front tactic, I'm sure, will be replicated by Northamptonshire. Have used Mohammed Nabi. I think they bowl the first over in pretty well every game. And there's Hartley in again, and driven down the ground once again by Josh Cobb, without any great power or timing. Once again, Alex Davis has had a busy start to the game in the deep. He completes the fielding, and they come through for another single, 3 to Cobb, and Northamptonshire 7 for 1. Northamptonshire winning the toss and batting with the same side that beat Durham last time out at Northampton. Swept by Vasconcelos out into the deep, and he's going to be caught, and he is caught. And Vasconcelos trying to sweep that one away, just picking out the man at mid-wicket. And it was Stephen Croft who took the catch. Good low catch, only just got to him. And Vasconcelos goes in the worst possible start for Northamptonshire, who in the second over are 7 for 2.
It's a great start for Lancashire, isn't it? It's 2 wickets in the first 2 overs. You couldn't wish for a better start if you were home supporters here, but I think they'll be disappointed with the 2 dismissals. Yeah, they've got 2 men out on the boundary. You know, they've got a deep mid wicket and a deep long on for Vasconcelos. Ball turning in, so if he's going to take on, it's the biggest boundary. So all he's done is slog sweat one to deep mid wicket. So he's not tried to do something different. He's not tried to sweep it behind. He's not tried to go inside out. He's just held out deep mid wicket, and I think he'd be disappointed with that as a shot selection. Yeah, okay, if he does something different, if he reverses, tries to go over the infield or does something, but he's just hit it to Stephen Croft, the deep mid wicket, who's taken 2 steps in like Alex Davis did and held out. I think it's he'd be disappointed with that.
Yeah, absolutely. Couldn't agree more, Paul. It's an option that I think when he looks back on it, as I'm sure they will, I think that perhaps wasn't the ideal option to take. Anyway, he's gone. And the batsman crossed, so new batsman is Rob Keogh, but he's at the non-strikers then, and Josh Cobb, Northampton's captain now with a huge role to play, picks up a single, driving that up to Alex Davis. And so a wicket apiece for the 2 Lancashire spinners in the first 2 overs of the match. 2 gone, with Cobb on 4, Keogh yet to get off the mark, and Northamptonshire 8 for 2 off 2.
Is it a slightly different challenge for Lancashire in this game, Paul, because they've lost a spinner from their attack, and kind of spin in those middle overs is a big part of their tactic, isn't it? How would you think that will affect their plans, not having Parkinson as that second frontline spinner?
Well, I think it will affect their plans, but Lancashire do have some other spin options in the side, and they've obviously started with 2 spin options. But what would have happened tonight is if Saqib Mahmood would have played, he might have opened the bowling. So what's happened with that change been forced upon them? They've opened with Hartley and Stephen Croft, and it's 8 for 2. So these things happen.
Very pragmatic as ever, Paul. There's Wood in the ball, and this is driven away through extra cover by Cobb for 4 runs. Absolutely nailed that, didn't he? Towards the hotel on the far side of Emirates Old Trafford. That's 4 runs, 12 for 2.
But if there's one thing you need in this form of cricket, it's the F word, isn't it? Flexibility. And
where you were going. Steady on.
In terms of thinking, you've just got to be prepared to do something different, and that was hence the selection of Freddie Heldrick as far as Northamptonshire are concerned, for example.
12 for 2. Cobbs nailed that one through extra cover for 4. Here's Luke Wood, left arm over the wicket and bowling. Little shuffle forward by Cobb and then steers it away through the offside. Picked up at backward point by Stephen Croft, and there's no run.
I think Cobb will enjoy this. He'll enjoy the pace of the ball coming onto the bat. Although he can take spin down, I think he's not as comfortable trying to take the spin down early in the power. He wants the ball to come onto him. He's strong down the ground and he's strong square. He would be trying to give himself a bit of room. Any room outside off stump or off stump, he'll try and slash for the offside. Wood needs to stay straight and hold his line onto the stumps.
Cobb's on 8. Wood running in and bowling. He'll step across the stumps. His appeal for LBW there. The ball's disappeared down towards the boundary for 4 leg byes. And, well, double teapot from Dane Velas, the keeper and captain. Not out, says the umpire. And score moves on to 16 for 2.
He certainly came a long way across, didn't he?
Big shout from Wood. Not interested. Or umpires Neil Pratt and Peter Hartley for this game. 16 for 2. We're halfway into the third. Live from Emirates Old Trafford, the T20 Blast fixture between Lancashire Lightning and the Northamptonshire Steelbacks. Wood balls to Cobb. Step to the leg side, chops the ball away through the offside, picked up by Croft, who throws at the bowler's end. And Keogh turns and gets back into his mark. There's no run. See Liam Hurt at mid-off to a few stretches. Big night for Hurt. Doesn't often get a chance for Lancashire. They're few and far between, really. His games across the 3 formats. Made his T20 debut back in 2019. Short ball from Wood and through to Villas, and there's no run. But he's got a little go last season in the Blast because of COVID and squad members being taken up by England in the biosecure bubble, but gets his chance tonight because Saqib Mahmood is away with England.
Will it be Liam Hurt's first game of the year?
Yes, I would think. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. Yeah. Probably last played in kind of back end of August last year, I would think, for Lang. To Cobb up onto his toes and just steering the ball down to third man. Finn Allen fields. And Cobb gets a run. End of the over, so 3 gone. 17 for 2. Cobb has 9. Keogh's yet to face a delivery.
It looks like we're going to have Seam again this end with Danny Lamb coming on. I was surprised that they haven't gone for a bit more of spin and Hartley again, but also, like you said, mentioned the middle period where Matthew Parkinson comes on and bowls in 4 overs, especially between sort of 7 and 12 or 7 and, that sort of area where straight after the power play, they're going to have to go to Hartley and people like that. So Hartley's going to have to bowl these 3 in that middle period, to these big boundaries with the fielders out. So you can't use all the spin up in the power play. Be really interesting to see what role Liam Hurt plays tonight. Obviously he's in the side, he hasn't bowled yet in the first 4 overs, so might be used in the middle period to hit the deck a little bit, and also maybe the back end. So plenty of options are out on the field for Dane Villas.
Here's Danny Lamb running in from down below us to start the 4th over, and a big wind up by Josh Cobb. Has just got enough on it, skewed off of the outside portion of the bat, and it just cleared the man an extra cover, and they pick up a couple of slightly fortuitous runs. 2 to Cobb, 11 to him, 19 for 2. Just wondering, Scott, given all the fact that all the balconies are pretty well populated over in the hotel, the far end of the ground, you reckon room service might be busy tonight, do you think?
Could be popular tonight, won't it?
Absolutely. Yeah. Here's Lamb running in again to bowl to Josh Cobb, works that away into the onside. Certainly one. Don't think there's going to be two, and there isn't, because Alex Davis, the busy Alex Davis, in there from deep mid-wicket, and they just keeps it to a single. So one more to Cobb, 12 to him, 20 for 2. Josh Cobb, of course, having missed a big chunk of the competition this year, injured himself in the second match against Nottinghamshire, and did a hamstring, and was actually back rather quicker, I think, than most people thought. But he just struggled a little bit for his timing, I suppose, not surprisingly, having missed, I think, 6 or 7 games in the middle since he came back, but just starting to get into his stride. Now is Rob Keogh facing his first ball. Lambs in, bowls to him, drives out into the offside, but only as far as cover, was fielded by Rob Jones. And there's no run. Keogh has been, again, one of the reliable presences for Northamptonshire in red ball and white ball this year. Very consistent.
He might also have a role to play with the ball tonight, Keogh.
Could well do, yeah. Bowling is off his. Here's Lamb in again, bowling to Keogh. Straight drives, and only manages to hit Danny Lamb. I won't say Lamb stopped it, and the ball just struck him, and he's followed through and prevents a single. Keogh rehearsing the stroke.
He tried to chest that back onto his left foot there, Danny Lamb, but it actually bounced off him into the opposing player at cover.
Yeah, I don't think Gareth Southgate will be picking him for giving him a shock call up for Sunday. Here's Lamb, the bustling run up, comes in and bowls, and that's dropped down on the onside by Keogh. Is going to get his first run, and they're going to come back for 2. In fact, that's cleverly played, and Alex Davis shying at the stumps and demolishing the wicket at that striker's end, knocking out a stump. He's had, it's very unusual to have an outfielder who's been quite so busy and quite so much to do in the first 4 overs of a match as Alex Davis has tonight. He's been positively ubiquitous. 22 for 2. Keogh is 2. Here's Lamb to finish the over. In again, bowls to Keogh, and again he drops it down the same sort of area, just in front of square on the onside. This time, thanks to some quick work by Dane Villas, who scurries around from behind the stumps, they get just a single. So Keogh is 3, Cobb is 12, 6 off the over, and Northamptonshire 23 for 2 off 4.
Really good, nice over there, but from Lamb. Used the changes of pace with his ball, a couple of slow balls in his hover, and with his field at deep mid-wicket and deep backward square leg, and he held his line straight. He wants them to tuck the ball into the leg side, which Keogh did and got a 2, and then he did, but they were happy with that. If you're looking to tuck the ball into the leg side, you can't be hurt for 4. He'll be happy if they're looking to tuck for that single. Worst case is they get a 2, which is rare. So they're not looking to take him down for falls and 6s. So he'd be happy with them, but hitting into the field that he's set. As we see Liam Hurt coming into the attack, first look at Liam Hurt. I'm really excited to see Liam Hurt. He's got a lot about him. I think he's got a lot of potential. He always seems to be the guy who sort of misses out. I think given an opportunity and a run, who knows where he might be.
Well, here he is, as you say, for the first time. Or just he's not here for the first time as he comes in. Pulls away and starts again. So, yeah, Liam Hurt did feature last year in the Blast. He played in 3 matches. He played last year in the Blast. Obviously, there's no 50 over stuff last year. May have played a Bob Willis Trophy game, but few and far between. In and ball, just back of a length, and that's muscled up through the onside by Keogh. It's a big boundary, that. So there should be 2, and there is. In fact, I think he started with a no ball there, has he? He has, yeah. Just overstepped as Liam Hurt. No ball, free hit.
And it's Alex Davis who's fielded the ball that deep backward square leg. Alex Davis has positioned himself on the boundary for the first 4 overs, and he's fielded the ball 75% of the time, because every time the ball goes out to the boundary, it's Alex Davis chasing it. He's trying to get some air in there at deep backward square leg. So he can actually run between the wickets when he bats later on tonight.
Is there a bonus payment or something?
I don't know. Get your best fielders in the hot zone. Alex he's fielding every ball at the moment.
Get his steps in.
This is a free hit for Keogh. There's Hurt comes in a bowl, tries to swat it away, but the ball in the end just squirts up towards extra cover. Got rid of that front leg, didn't he? Trying to hit it as hard as he could, but towards Keaton Jennings. So just the one run added, 28 for 2. Keogh to 6, brings Cobb on strike. Got to be tricky, hasn't it, for Liam Hurt? You don't play too often, you get given a chance because of call-ups. Keen to do well, wasn't he, to impress here?
Yeah, and probably too keen in the way he overstepped the mark in the first ball. He's keen to get to the crease, and he's a big lad and he runs in hard. So he just needs to breathe, take his time and enjoy his opportunity.
Here he is from the Anderson end of bowling. Up goes Cobb, and defends back down the pitch. Gathered by Hurt off his own bowling, and there's no run. Cobb remains on 12. He's got a deep square leg. That's you know who. That's Alex Davis. A deep square leg in front of the temporary stand, which has a little sprinkling of spectators on the first few rows. There's 4 inside the ring on the offside. Hurt into Cobb. Is that chipped just beyond the reach of Lamb? Gone down towards the boundary, and that's 4 runs. Just flicked away. It was a big diving leap from Lamb, and he was only maybe a fingertip away from stopping it. Gone for 4 though, 32 for 2.
Slow ball by Hurt, actually. He just got it slightly wrong. There was an off-spinning slow ball, but leg side on leg stump, and Cobb flicked it around the corner. Danny Lamb made a hell of an effort to take a diving catch, and that would have been a hard chance and diving catch like that, but yeah, I don't think he got much on it, to be fair. I don't even know if he got a touch on it.
I think he was a finger nail away from it, wasn't he? Hurt to Cobb, slapped away over extra cover, 4 more. Out towards the boundary in front of the hotel. That was sent with a bit of interest, wasn't it? 36 for 2.
He was. Cobb is giving himself room. He's clearing his front side. He'll be quite happy if the ball lands halfway down. I don't think he's going to take on the big boundary and try and pull him or hook him out past Alex Davis. He's going to give himself room and try and cut and scythe the way through the offside. He knows Liam Hurt's going to try and attack the middle of the wicket, I think, and I think he's just going to use the pace of Hurt to try and attack the smaller boundary. Like I said before, Cobb wants the ball to come on like this. He'll be happy with this choice. As we see a fielding change, a deep point's gone out to try and stop that, but I think Cobb will try and go over third man if he gets a shortish ball.
Yeah, Finn Allen comes inside the circle at third man. Hurt back in to Cobb, and that's played straight to Daniel Lamb. Just chipped it around the corner to Lamb at short fine leg, and into the hands of the Lancashire fielder, and having slapped one through extra cover and sent one out through the onside, couple of 4s. He's been caught by Lamb inside the 30-yard circle at short fine leg. That's a 3rd wicket to fall in the power play. 36 for 3.
It's a strange game at times, T20 cricket. Obviously, it's a short leg side ball again, and Cobb probably could have hit it anywhere really, and he managed to find 45. That's why he's so dejected. He's walking off and he's really disappointed. It goes down as a wicket for Liam Hurt, and a wicket in his first over back into the side. So it is a strange game at times, and I suppose the fielding change, meant Cobb was going to try and pull the ball, but it was more on line that he did. He just managed to pick out Danny Lamb, when he had 80 metres behind backward square leg to take. It's only Alex Davis out on the deep backward square boundary that was anything going to put him in any pressure, but these things happen, and it's unfortunate for Cobb. He's just started to get going and looking really good, and he's a real key wicket for Northamptonshire.
Yeah, that's a blow for the Steelbacks. Cobb this year, 150 to his name, highest score of 62, but he's gone for 20, caught by Daniel Lamb off the bowling of Liam Hurt, who, if he had a few nerves in his belly beforehand with just overstepping the mark for a nil ball, that may well have settled things down. Here comes Lamb in and bowls to Nabby. He's back and across and defends. Pushes it back down the pitch, gathered by Hurt off his own bowling. So 6 runs off, sorry, I think it was 13 runs off the over in the end. 36 for 3, but the wicket for Liam Hurt. 5 overs gone, 36 for 3.
Yeah, so it's interesting you say about that 62, Josh Cobb's high score. That was actually the one during which he injured himself. That was the match against Nottinghamshire early on. He hasn't quite got going with the bat since he's been back in the side, but the last game or two he's started to look a little bit more like his old self. But as far as Northamptonshire are concerned, they'll be thinking that this power play is a bit like revisiting the bad old days when the Achilles heel of this Northamptonshire side the last couple of years has been losing too many wickets in the power play, losing 2 or 3 routinely. And they thought that they perhaps just got over that, but not the case tonight. Is Luke Wood, left arm over, running into bowl to Rob Keogh, who drives back to Wood, who tries to deflect it back onto the stumps. Doesn't succeed in doing so, but does succeed in cutting off the possibility of a run. I haven't heard you mention the music tonight. Scott, you were very impressed when you came to Northampton by the 90s boy band.
I was
Power Mix.
Massively impressed with the selection, with the playlist at Northants.
Well, it didn't go unnoticed, believe me. As the supreme arbiter of good taste, here's Wood in again, bowls to Keogh, just drops it down on the offside. Not a run there to be had. Lancashire bubbling and buzzing in the field, as you would expect, as a result of having got off to an excellent start here this evening. And Northamptonshire now facing that always difficult little quandary as to what extent you just try to regroup, but at the same time you've got to keep going. It's just so hard in these sort of circumstances when you lose early wickets, especially when you're batting first and looking to set a total. Here's Wood steaming in again, bowls to Keogh and tucks him up, and again he's just able to drop it down to backward point, and there's no run there. Terrific start to the over for Luke Wood. 3 dot balls, and to compensate for the lack of a power mix, we actually have some singing. But it's was that football's coming home?
I think it was something to do with it coming home. Yeah.
Yes, I thought it was. Here's Wood in again to bowl to Keogh, short. Keogh pulls and he's going to get runs. He's going to get 4. It just dropped about a couple of feet inside the rope at deep mid wicket. Just sat up nicely for Keogh, pulled it away. So Keogh is obviously going to try and make the most of these last couple of balls of the power play. 40 for 3, 2 balls to go in the 6th.
Really impressive shot there by Keogh. First 3 balls of dots were really good length, top of the stump. The line was good by Wood. He gambled, thought he'd test it with a short ball, and Keogh stood up tall and pulled it 10-15 yards in front of square. Nearly put it for 6 actually. It's a really clean strike. Shows he's in decent form, Keogh. He's seen the ball really well.
Yeah, he's been in good nick in all cricket this year, Paul. Here's Wood in again, bowls to Keogh, drives nicely as far as extra cover. Now he comes through for the single, and I have to say, if that had been picked up cleanly, it was a very tight single to extra cover, and it was Danny Lamb there. And if he'd
Luke Wells,
beg your pardon.
Sorry, it's my dreadful right.
Doing a very good impression of Danny Lamb.
It's hard as well because you don't know whether it's Luke Wells or Keaton Jennings.
No, there's
a bit of a lookalike going on in the Lancashire team.
Either way, it was a very tight single to extra cover, and if it had been picked up cleanly, Keogh might have been struggling, but it wasn't, so he wasn't. His Nabi facing, and he's off the mark straight away with a single to mid-wicket. And this time, Luke Wells, well, just manages to get the backing up right at any rate, so he atones for a slight misfield in the previous delivery. So that's the end of the power play. Just 6 runs off the over, and Lancashire, I think, will be pretty well satisfied with the way things have panned out so far. Keogh is 11, Nabi is 1. 6 overs gone, so that's the power play, and Northamptonshire 42 for 3.
I think after losing the toss and being put in, obviously, being put in the field and Northampton wanting to have a bat, 42 for 3, Lancashire should be happy with their sides. 3 wickets in power play. Normally the stats don't add up on the back of that after setting a total. And 42 is not a train wreck for Lancashire. They'll be happy with that. And as we see Luke Wells coming on, this is the question you asked about the hole that Matthew Parkinson leaves. in this period. This would have been the over that Matthew Parkinson would have bowled. He probably would have bowled to this end as well. So, Luke Wells also bowls leg spin. So this has, created an opportunity for Luke Wells to bowl some more leg spin.
Yeah, Wells into the attack, bowling to Nabi, goes off the back foot and plays it back to Wells. And there is no run. He bowled a bit in the championship match last week. 10 overs, 1 for 8 against Kent, Luke Wells. He's in the bowling to Nabi. It's drilled firmly up toward long on, where Stephen Croft fields. Score ticks along to 43 for 3. Nabi moves up to 2. We've seen some excitement and some pretty explosive innings from Nabi for various different teams, including one here for Leicestershire against Lancashire a few years ago. Were you in that? Did you play that game or not?
I think I watched.
Did you watch? A little clip away down towards Keogh, short fine leg. And he moves to 12, 44 for 3.
I think I watched over there, which is the Titanic Distillers Irish whiskey area, on them lounges. I think I was in there.
Were you on the little lounge, were you?
I think I might have snuck into a lounge, yeah.
Cheeky. Wells to Nabi, worked away through mid-wicket, just for a single. He moves up to 3, 45 for 3.
And I was saying, Lancashire's obviously won. It was a great game, and then Nabi decided to hit the ball out of the ground for about half an hour, and then it was one of the best things you've ever seen.
It was outstanding, wasn't it? Keogh this time pulls the ball out through deep mid-wicket for a single. It moves to 13, 46 for 3. By the way, for those with us via BBC Radio Lancashire, to continue to listen to the cricket, it will be on DAB from 7 o'clock. So that's where you need to be for those with us on BBC Radio Lancashire. Here's Wells to Nabi. It's pushed out through the onside. And again, he gets a single. And he nicks the strike as well. So 7 overs gone, 47 for 3. Nabi for Keogh on 13. 7 overs gone. Lots of ways to keep across the cricket. Watching it on the live Lancashire stream with BBC Radio Northampton on the BBC Sport website and app. And just a little reminder for you once again that DAB listeners on BBC Radio Lancashire, that's where you need to be. So all our other frequencies are heading in different directions. Emma Sweeney with you, but for DAB is where you need to be for BBC Radio Lancashire listeners. Over number 8 will be bowled by Tom Hartley.
Yep, with the left arm spinner Tom Hartley, and I can reveal exclusively that as far as Rob Keogh is concerned, it is the 10th anniversary to the day of his T20 debut. I can't claim credit for that. Is Hartley coming round the wicket, bowls to Nabi, drives up towards long off. Guess who the fielder is? Alex Davis comes in off the boundary. Easy single for Nabi. He goes up to 5, and Northamptonshire to 48 for 3. Yes, against Derbyshire at Derby on that occasion. And I have to thank Alex Berry, Northamptonshire's comms manager, for that one. He obviously has too much time on his hands at the moment. Here's Hartley, bowls to Keogh. He flicks that away down to deep mid-wicket, and they're able to come through for another single. So a little bit of a regrouping going on here by Northamptonshire. 14 to Keogh, 49 for 3. When Northamptonshire lost that third wicket, my eyes were drawn to the area that Paul was talking to. Short by Hartley. Nabi tries to cut, doesn't make contact, goes into the gloves of Dane Villas. Titanic. And Northamptonshire were 36 for 3. Here's Hartley in again, bowls full toss, driven back down the ground by Nabi, almost taking out Rob Keogh in the process. Goes down to long on, where it's fielded by Stephen Croft, coming in off the rope, and that's the 50 up for Northamptonshire off the 4th ball of the 8th over. Nabi rehearses a rather more expansive stroke. Here's Hartley in again, bowls to Keogh. He's going to pick up a single, playing it to Luke Wells in the covers. One more to Keogh, 15 to him, 51 for 3. And the chorus of footballs coming home, strikes up from down below us. Key of F sharp, worked away into the onside by Mohamed Nabi. Going to come back for 2, needs to be hurrying here, and he is. And Rob Keogh was actually running to the danger end, the non-striker's end, and got through comfortably enough. Pretty quick between the wickets, Rob Keogh, pretty quick in the field as well, as we shall doubtless see later. End of the over, 6 runs off it. 15 to Keogh, 8 to Nabi, and Northamptonshire with 8 gone, 53 for 3.
Hartley, 2 nice overs of left-arm spin, 2 overs, 1 for 10. I've been really impressed with Hartley as I've seen him. When I've seen him live, I heard a lot about him, but obviously to see him live commentating, it's been really good to see. Obviously tall, continuing the rich tradition of left-arm spinners that Lancashire produce. I know there's one now at Northampton.
Yes.
I sort of thought he might have been involved in the squad tonight, even if because he knew the ground and he could, direct you in. So I'm sure he'll want me to give him a plug.
I hope he had better luck than getting into the gate than I did today. Anyway, it was about 5th time lucky, but we got in.
But I'm so happy to see him playing.
Yeah,
he's such a wonderful left-arm bowler.
Absolutely.
It's great to see him back playing the game.
There's Croft bowling to Keogh. That's thumped up to long on for a single. He had a smile from ear to ear, didn't he, in the championship match earlier this year when he finished with 4 wickets, was it?
It was 30 overs, 4 for 70 or something like 4 for 60, I think.
Grinning like the old Cheshire Cat, wasn't he, Simon Kerrigan? Here's Nabby. It's flicked away off the pads, out through the onside. Davis comes up to field from deep mid-wicket, just a 1.
It was quite an emotional post-match interview, wasn't it? Afterwards, he coming back here on the ground, he said he never thought he'd play here again, and to see him coming back and doing so well, as you say, terrific.
Croft to Keogh, goes off the back foot, drags it again out towards Davis. He's on extra hours, isn't he? He's on overtime today.
He is, yeah, because normally he's behind the stump, so he's now getting all the...
Yeah, he's instead out at deep mid-wicket. We're going to have a little change around in the commentary box. We're going to bring in Jimmy Anson in a minute as Croft comes in and bowls. That's worked out towards mid-wicket. Think of 1, yeah, just the 1 in the end, just the single. 57 for 3. Paul will take a break for a little bit, and then Jimmy is going to join us for a little bit as well. 2 balls left of the over. Jimmy needs to sanitise his headphones, sir. I know you're one of the game's greatest bowlers, James, but if you just clean your headphones, that would be great. Thank you. Here's Croft to Keogh. It's eased out through the onside, and he moves up to 18. 58 for 3. 1 ball left of the 9th, and Nabby's on strike. You are Mike number C. There we go. Hello, James.
Good evening.
Good evening. And it's Stephen Croft to complete the 9th over. Nabby's on 10. And that's just flicked out through the onside for a single. So 59 for 3. Nabby 11. Keogh 18. 9 overs gone. James, how are you assessing it at this stage?
I think Lancashire will be quite happy at the moment. Getting those 3 wickets quite early was very important, but Northampton really got away. Going at just over 6s at the minute. I think Lancashire will be pretty happy with that.
What about the pitch, Jimmy? What do you reckon? Any idea of what a par score might be on this?
Good question. I think it looks like the spinners are in the game. The seamers have got a bit of tap at the minute. It looks like that the quicker bowlers are coming onto the bat nicely. So I'd suggest, with it spinning like this, could be a 140, 150 sort of pitch. That could be in the game.
Well, I'm sure Keogh and Nabby will be assessing the situation as they go along. And another important partnership for Northamptonshire. These two is Luke Wood, about to start his 3rd over. 2 overs for 11 so far. Running in from down below us to bowl to Mohamed Nabby with 11 to his name, and Nabby steers that away down to 3rd man and picks up another single. 12 to him, and Northamptonshire up to 60 for 3.
I believe you've been having a Q&A this afternoon, is that right?
Yep, I have.
And how did that go?
Good, yeah. It was with Warren Hegg.
Nice.
Just having a chat, yeah.
Very good. Did the 1,000 get mentioned once or twice?
It might have, yeah. Might have come up.
Here's Luke Wood running in again to bowl to Rob Keogh. And Keogh playing that up to mid-off, goes straight away for the single, and he gets the single okay, and Keaton Jennings coming in from extra cover. Him and Rob Keogh finish up embracing as they run into each other. 1 more to Keogh, 19 to him, 61 for 3. You're live on BBC Radio Northampton this evening, and I'm sure all Northamptonshire listeners would like to congratulate you very, very much on that.
Thank you very much.
The 5 millionth person to say it, but certainly sincere. It's just a wonderful achievement. Here's Wood in again, bowls to Mohamed Nabi, tries to pull it, doesn't get hold of it, just cloths it out to deep mid-wicket, where the inevitable Alex Davis fields. One more onto the total, 13 to Nabi, and Northamptonshire to 62 for 3 after winning the toss and choosing to bat first. What about that decision, Jimmy? I just wonder whether you would have, if you say the spinners are going to be in it, maybe batting first would be the plan, do you think?
Yeah, I would imagine Lancashire would have batted first if they'd have won the toss, especially with the spin options that they've got. Definitely.
Here's Wood in again, bowls, and that's beaten Keogh, and I just wanted to get a nick on that. I think he might have done. It's running down towards the boundary at fine leg. The comeback for 2. Let's see what the signal is. There is a signal, so it wasn't a nick, it was a buys. Beat everything, beat the batsman, and eluded Dane Villas as well. So 2 onto the total, 64 for 3. That just flew a little bit, didn't it, from Luke Wood, who we know has got genuine pace. One of the former Northamptonshire players, or briefly former Northamptonshire players in the match. We're just talking about Simon Carrigan a moment ago. He must be delighted to see him back in the game again, and doing so well.
Definitely great to see him back.
Here's Luke Wood charging in again to bowl to Keogh, drives down the ground, only goes as far as mid-on. Sharp fielding by Stephen Croft, shies at the stumps at the non-striker's end as Keogh comes through for the single, doesn't make contact with them. Keogh goes up to 20 off 21 balls, 65 for 3, 1 ball to go in the 10th. So halfway mark at the end of this over. Northamptonshire having lost Ben Curran for 1, Vasconcelos for 3, and Josh Cobb, the captain, for 20. Here's Wood in again. Into Mohamed Nabi in his blue shoes, and Nabi working that away down towards fine leg. He's just going to be, I think Nabi going to be able to come through for a second. A bit of a sliding stop down there on the fine leg boundary in front of the hotel. So 2 more to Nabi to end the over. 8 runs off that one, and at halfway Northamptonshire 67 for 3 with Keogh on 20, Nabi on 15.
Yeah, it continues to be a pretty decent night so far for Lancashire, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think the spin is going to be the key in this game. We've seen that, I think it's a hybrid pitch, so it does have that kiss and the pace from the quicker bowlers, but we have seen some spin, and it does look difficult to get that spin away. So if Lancashire should be looking to Luke Wells, Stephen Croft, Tom Hartley to try and keep this score down as low as possible.
So it's kind of part synthetic, part.
Yeah.
It just look a little bit from here. It doesn't, but when you get up close to it, as Wells comes in and bowls to Keogh's off the back foot and driving away through extra cover for a single, it does look quite different, doesn't it?
Yeah, you can see the sort of the little synthetic bits of grass poking through. So it's quite a lot of grounds are using them now, and they seem to play quite nicely.
Was the pitch that was used for the women's T20 match earlier on today. Nabi down on one knee trying to swap the ball away through the onside. Just deflects it out towards deep backward square leg where Rob Jones is fielding for Lancashire. 2 on that, actually 3 out on the onside. There's a long on, there's a deep mid-wicket and a deep backward square leg. Luke Wells bowls and Keogh looks to sweep it, deflects down to Lamb, underarm throw to Villas. They've gone through for a leg by. 70 for 3, so Keogh remains on 21. Brings Nabi on strike. 16 off 17. You reckon maybe 6 or 7 overs of Nabi could be quite handy here for the Steelbacks? That would do nicely for them. A few fireworks along the way, you would think. Wells asked if this is an LBW as Nabi kind of shuffles forward. The ball does deflect off his pad. Leg by signalled. So it remains on 16. The squad moves on to 71 for 3. There's also deep extra cover and long off outside the circle. Keogh leans forward and clips it through the onside. Davis is once again in action, as he has been for most of the evening. He's on his hands and knees, fielding the ball out on that leg side. Not got the glove still. I don't think he's kept wicket all season actually for Lancashire. Wells in. This is a wristy shot by Keogh. Just step into the leg side and Able to steer it along the ground up towards Stephen Croft at long on. Gets one and keeps the strike. So 11 overs gone, 74 for 3. KO 24, Nabi on 16 in a game which is must win, isn't it, really? For both sides. I don't think there's any margin now for error.
No, I think Lancashire's remaining 3 games are must win, including this one. It's actually quite, I think as a team, it's quite nice when that is the case. You know exactly what you've got to do. There's no point just holding back. You've got to give it absolutely everything on the field to try and win. So it's nice having that clarity going into the last couple of games.
Do you miss not playing this sort of stuff anymore, Jimmy?
Absolutely not. I've watched the seamers get parked everywhere tonight, over extra cover, skim down to fine leg. No, it's not for me anymore, I don't think. I don't think it ever was, to be honest.
Well, it's going to be Tom Hartley to bowl his 3rd over. 2 overs, 1 for 10 so far. Picked up the wicket of Ricardo Vasconcelos, very important one, in the 2nd over of the match. And he's going to be bowling left arm spin round the wicket to Keogh, who drives up towards long on, and Stephen Croft comes in off the boundary to field, and it's 1 more to Keogh, 25 to him, 75 for 3. Yes, Northamptonshire played on one of these hybrids at Race Road and bowled 15 overs of spin in the innings against Leicestershire. Here's Hartley again, clipped away to deep mid wicket for another single by Mohamed Nabi. I'm just wondering if Mohamed Nabi's got more than 1 pair of those. No ball called. So, I assume he must have overstepped, and it's a free hit. And it's going to be Rob Keogh with the free hit, 78 for 3. And Hartley bowls it wide, pushes it wide. It's signalled a wide, so the free hit still stands. 1 more onto the total, 79 for 3. Keogh preparing to face this ball from Tom Hartley. Some sort of commotion down below us. And he just tries to swing it away on the leg side. Keogh, does he get any bat on it? No, he doesn't. It's signalled as a leg by. So the free hit, bit of a waste really. 1 more onto the total, 80 for 3 in the 12th over. Yeah, Mohamed Nabi wears these rather lurid fluorescent blue boots. I'm just wondering if it's the only pair he's got, because he's worn them pretty much from the first time he arrived. Nabi goes big. He's gone very big, and it's 6 over long off. Well, we've been saying that Mohamed Nabi's impact on T20 this year for Northampton should be much more with the ball than the bat. He's been Northamptonshire's most economical bowler, gone for less than a run a ball over the competition so far, but he hasn't really fired with the bat yet. Well, from Northamptonshire's point of view, this would be a very good time for him to do it. 23 to him, 86 for 3. 12 off the over so far, and we're only halfway through it. And Northamptonshire were hoping for a big over or two. Is this going to be it? Nabi 23 off 20 balls. Hartley in again, bowls to Nabi, plays it up towards long on, but Hartley himself scampers away to his right to complete the fielding. Another single to Nabi, 24 to him, 87 for 3.
50 partnership, that?
Yeah, 50 partnership in, where are we now? 7 balls. Overs, yeah. Worked away for another single by Keogh, just behind square on the onside. 1 more to Keogh, 26 to him, 88 for 3, 1 ball to go in the 12th. Floodlights are on, fine evening. Crowd of, what do you reckon, about 4? You say 4,500 in tonight? Yeah. It's Hartley round the wicket again, bowls to Nabi, who again just works it into the onside for a single. He feels he's won the over already, doesn't need to do anything daft. At the end of it, 15 off the over, 89 for 3, with Keogh on 26, Nabi 25.
4,039.
That is good knowledge.
Oh, it's very good. I'll make a note of that.
Have you just made that up?
According to Paul Allett,
right,
director of cricket here, it is 4,039 in the ground.
Good stats.
I bet the 39 are feeling really privileged, aren't they, tonight? They're very special people.
Yeah.
So that's far more accurate than I was just saying. It's in the region of around about 4,000 inside the ground.
It's a bit easier at Northampton. We've only got 850. So.
Imagine Paul Allett going around making sure everyone's counted, and
yeah.
And paid.
Yeah, exactly. That's the crucial one. Mohamed Naby's played 295 T20 matches. Blimey.
In just about every conceivable part of the cricketing world as well.
Yeah, very experienced. And he's played. He could be playing a blinder here because he's taking his time getting himself in. Saw him expand off Tom Hartley the last over, so they might be looking to push on.
There's Liam Hurt back into the attack. That's that roll off the face of the bat and down towards third man for a single. So 26 off 23, 90 for 3. His list of clubs is extraordinary. I mean, it would take up probably most of the innings to go through them. He has been around, hasn't he? Blimey, he's played some cricket. He's not a franchise in the world. He's not been involved in. And as you say, maybe playing a bit of a blinder here. We were just chatting to Paul Horton before about he played here for Leicestershire a few years back and absolutely smoked it all around the place for in no time at all to win the game for the Foxes. Then step to the leg side, trying to slash the ball away, Keogh, but through to the keeper. And there's no run. As a fast bowler for Liam Hurt, he's not played a great deal of T20 cricket. Well, he's not played a great deal for Lancashire, really. Chances are few and far between, but a few nerves in the belly tonight, won't there? Yeah,
it's tough to come in and having not played. So I think his first ball was a no ball as well, so that just shows that there's nerves there, a bit of eagerness, trying to run into the crease quite hard. I mean, I think he's a very promising bowler. He's got pace, hits the pitch hard. It's just, it can be tough when you've not played a great deal.
Key on strike, his Hurt in and bowling to him. And gives himself some room and slaps it up towards long off for 1 run. And Keogh moves to 27, 91 for 3. We're live from Emirates Old Trafford via lots of different avenues. The live Lancashire stream, the BBC Sport website and app, and on the radios for BBC Radio Lancashire and BBC Northampton as well. This is T20 blast fixture between Lightning and the Steelbacks, in basically a must-win game for both sides. As Hurt bowls to Naby, playing a miss through to Dane Villas, and there's no run. Just 2 off the over so far for Liam Hurt. Bowling from the Jimmy Anderson end.
Yep. He's bowled well here. This is when he's done well. First 4 balls going for 2. He's got to try and finish it off now. Finish strong, trying to keep it down to 4.
And he comes and bowls to Naby. Up onto his toes and pulls the ball behind square on the leg side. Up comes Rob Jones to field for Lancashire. Naby gets a single. Takes him to 27. 92 for 3. With 1 ball remaining of the 13th over. Keogh back on strike, 27 from 30. There's a base here well, this is a good base for a partnership. I mean, they've put on 50 now after a shaky power play. The Steelbacks have pieced things back together again, and they've got a platform here to go on and try and accelerate. Swatted away from Croft, who doesn't get to it. It's gone for 4, but Stephen Croft at mid-on, leaping up to his right-hand side, arm outstretched, and he almost got to it. Such are his standards, you wouldn't have been too surprised had he caught it. He's gone for 4 though, 13 gone, 96 for 3.
Yeah, I think as a Lancashire supporter, the one person you want that chance to go to is Stephen Croft. He's fantastic in the field, really athletic, great pair of hands, just out of reach of him, I think. But a great effort. A decent over there, just ruined by that last boundary though from Liam Hurt, which is a shame. But from a Northampton point of view, they're getting to the point where these two have got themselves in. One of them has to push on now, because the last thing you need is to lose a wicket in this situation, and you've got a fresh batsman coming in trying to get himself in on this pitch, which looks like it's just starting to spin a bit more. It's also taking a bit more. We've seen slow balls there from Liam Hurt, so it's taking a bit more sort of spin. So yeah, these two need to kick on.
It's got Wayne Parnell to come, of course, who's also played for very many of the franchises that you could imagine around the world. And in contrast, you say about 295 T20 matches for a whole host of different teams with Mohamed Naby. Rob Keogh, as I say, 10 years to the day since his T20 debut for Northamptonshire, and the ultimate one-club man, really. He's only ever been with Northamptonshire, and sort of underrated servant, I think, over the years. Here's Danny Lamb starting a fresh over appeal against Mohamed Nabi for LBW, and he's given it. The umpire taking a while to consider it. Nabi aiming to swing away over the onside, and that was just what Lancashire needed, just when they needed it. Nabi goes for 27, and Northamptonshire are 96 for 4.
Yeah, it's another slow ball from Danny Lamb. It's not bounced at all. So Nabi's gone for the pull shot. It's just kept a bit low, and it looks like it's going to hit the top of, probably off, middle and off. Good decision there, I think. But yeah, crucial wicket for Lancashire, just as that partnership was starting to build between Nabi and Keogh. So yeah, it's a pretty crucial time, and you can see the delight on Danny Lamb's face and what it meant to the Lancashire players.
Absolutely, yeah. The partnership between those two worth 60. And they were together, what, just short of 8 and a bit overs, so it was a handy little rebuilding job, but Northamptonshire needing to press on. Saib is the new batsman out there in the middle, going in ahead of Parnell, who, interestingly, at the start of the campaign, Parnell was batting 3-4, was batting in the power play, but I think they feel they want to give Saib a bit of a go. Once or twice he's played a little cameo down at 7 and 8, and sort of, but it's too late, and I think the feeling was that they wanted to give him a bit more to do, a bit more of a meaningful role within the Northamptonshire order. But he's got a job to do here, certainly. There's what, best part of 7 overs to go, 6 overs and 5 balls. Northamptonshire 96 for 4. And here's Lamb coming in to bowl over the wicket to the left-handed Zabe, who chips that one back up towards mid-off. It's fielded by Stephen Croft, who shies at the stumps. Not only hits the stumps, he demolishes them. There's woodwork flying everywhere. The upshot of it is Saib, who was very quick between the wickets, managed to get through okay, and the single counts. Good bit of fielding, but there's wood everywhere. 97 for 4. Zabe off the mark with a single first ball, so we're back to the right-hand left-hand combination, and Keogh facing on 31 off 31 balls. Here's Lamb, and again bowls to Keogh, runs that down nicely towards third man. I think he's going to get 4 for this. Just gather a little bit of pace down towards the pavilion, and it does indeed cross the road and brings up the 100 for Northamptonshire. Clever bit of batting by Rob Keogh, just using the pace of the ball where the fielder was, the third man up in the ring. And no, go on.
Yeah, underrated shot that in T20 cricket. I saw Harry Brook for Yorkshire play a great knock against Lancashire in the Roses game. He used that shot brilliantly, using the pace of the ball, just running it down to third man.
Here's Lamond again, ball's very full, driven up towards long on, and it's going to be just a single as Stephen Croft comes in off the boundary of the field. One more to Keogh, 36 to him, 102 for 4. Yes, Northamptonshire supporters saw plenty of Harry Brook last week, of course, in the Championship. Very, very good 100, which really went a long way towards deciding the match. And a few people a little bit surprised that when they picked the new side, the New England squad, that he wasn't there.
Yeah.
I'm sure his chance will come. 102 for 4, 2 balls to go in the 14th. There's Lamb bowling again to Saib, pulls it way down towards deep mid-wicket. And oh my goodness, it was Alex Davis running round and almost wrong foots. The other field, was it Luke Wells down there, was running around behind him, does him like a kipper, getting a bit of a hand on it, and Luke Wells had to change direction, and as a result they pick up 3 runs, 4 to Zabe, 105 for 4, 9 off the over so far with the wicket. And Keogh to face the last ball of the 14th from Danny Lamb, and he works that away for a single to keep the bowling down to deep square. One more to Keogh, 37 to him. Zabe is 4, 10 off the over, 106 for 4 off 14.
Can you stay for one more?
Yeah.
Lovely. Where does the phrase "done him like a kipper" comes from? It's massively underused, is that? That needs to be used more often. He's done him like a kipper.
I have to get a copy of Brewer's Dictionary of Phrase and Fable out, but I don't know. I'll have to go and find this out now.
Enormous fan of being done like a kipper.
I thought it might have been a Northamptonshire expression, but I don't think it is. I think it's in Fairly universal
it is.
use, isn't it?
Last heard by me Nana. Luke Wells, over number 3 for him. And Keogh goes right back into his crease, and that's played off the back foot into the onside. Davies comes up, throws on the bounce to Wells. And turned his arm over last week. 10 overs in that championship game against Kent, because no Matt Parkinson.
1 for 9.
It was, yeah.
He bowled well. It was a turning pitch. We were debating playing 2 spinners in that game, but when it got shortened to 3 days, we went with just the one.
Wells in to Zabe, flicked away through the onside. There's no run. The problem is, James, no one got a chance in the first innings. So, because someone's been quite selfish and taken all the wickets.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, no one else got a shout. 108 for 4 brings Keogh back on strike. Here's Wells from the Anderson end bowling. Oh, he's gone high through the onside. Who's underneath it? Davis is coming round, but he'll watch it fly over the rope for 6. Yes, that's a big hit, that, isn't it? It's a big boundary out through that leg side. 114 for 4.
Yeah, biggest part of the ground there. 2 men out, and he split them brilliantly, and got enough of it to go for 6, but just crept over. So if it was, you know, either side of where it went, it would have been catchable for the 2 fielders on the boundary. Yeah, I think he, you know, obviously showing his intent now, going after the part-timer, Luke Wells, trying to stamp his authority on this innings.
And again, Wells to Keogh, 44 not out. Ball just deflects off his thigh pad in towards the offside. And leg by has been signalled. 115 for 4, so Keogh remains on 44 not out. Brings Safe Zabe back on strike. Everyone shifts around. And a deep mid-wicket and a long on, a deep backward square leg. Long off, and Rob Jones lurking on the cover boundary. Step down the pitch, swing and a miss, taken by Villas. But he got his back foot back over the line. Oh, looked a little ugly. But, despite Villas demolishing the stumps, he was okay.
Yeah, it looked like a drag down from Luke Wells, and then a hack across the line from Zabe. And then
cricket was the loser, really.
Wells to complete the over. Oh, that's fizzed wide and much quicker from Wells. It's gone in between the legs of Villas, and it's gone for a bye. I think he described it as being kind of part-time leg spin from Luke Wells. Maybe that was a good description on the back of that, of his 3rd over. 15 gone, 116 for 4. Safe Zabe has 5. Rob Keogh has 44. 5 overs left of the innings. James Anderson, what a Northants looking at, you reckon, from these last 5?
Well, you're looking at, you want 10 and over, I think, as a batting team. Last 5 overs, 6 wickets in hand. 10 and over gives you 165. I think that's a good score on here. Lancashire will be hoping under 150 from here.
Another important partnership as far as Northamptonshire is concerned. Tom Hartley in again, the left-arm spinner bowling to Safe Zabe. He's Hartley now into his 4th and final over, and Zabe working that away out to deep mid-wicket, fielded by Alex Davis, and Zabe was very quick through for the first run, and I just got the impression he felt that Rob Keogh was maybe not as keen as he was to come back for 2 anyway. It's a single to Zabe, 6 to him, 117 for 4. Keogh, the senior partner, 44 off 37. Hartley in again. Keogh goes for the slog sweep out to deep mid-wicket. It's fielded by Stephen Croft, and they're through for another run. One more to Keogh, 45 to him, 118 for 4. Here at Emirates Old Trafford. It's Friday evening. Good-sized crowd, making plenty of noise. And absorbed in this game is Hartley in again. Bowls to Zabe, works this away. Again on the onside. Are they going to come through for 2 this time? No, they're not. As Luke Wells is quickly in off the long on boundary and keeps it to 1. Good fielding. 119 for 4. Zabe up to 7. And Keogh once again holding Northamptonshire together here. Hartley bowling one, pushing it really wide outside off stump. Keogh just about manages to get a bat to it. Goes out into the offside for another single. 46 to Keogh, 120 for 4. Hartley so far 1 for 28, 2 balls to go in his spell. He is again, bowls to Zabe and is driven down to long on for a single, and the batsman, the non-striker's end, Rob Keogh, and the bowler Tom Hartley get into a real tangle. It's a good job there that wasn't a tight single. One more onto the board for Zabe, 8 to him, 121 for 4. So 5 balls, 5 singles so far. I think Lancashire probably settle for that. Can he finish strong? It's going to be 6 balls, 6 singles as Keogh works that up to long on, where it's fielded by Alex Davis. So 6 off the over, 122 for 4. And Tom Hartley finishes his bowling stint for the evening. 4 overs, no maidens, 1 for 30. Keogh 47, Zabe 8, 122 for 4. 4 overs to go.
Elsewhere tonight, there's still nothing between Notts and Yorkshire. It's raining at Trent Bridge.
Oh, right.
So delayed start there. Worcestershire Rapids against Birmingham Bears. Worcestershire made 174 for 6 from 20. And the Bears in reply are 54 for 2 after 7. So 120 needed from 13 overs for Birmingham Bears to beat the Worcestershire Rapids. And Durham are 104 for 4 against the Derbyshire Falcons.
Well, in my order, pre-match order, I put in for Worcestershire to beat the Bears and for Derbyshire to beat Durham. So, see if that order is fulfilled.
Here's Danny Lamb, and that's driven by Keogh to long off for a single. Yeah, Notts and Yorkshire are the top 2. Worcestershire 3rd, Durham are 4th. Lancashire Lightning have got Durham to play here and Yorkshire to play here as well. So the final 3 group games are here. Steelbacks a point and a place below Lancashire in the North Group table. The top 4 qualify for the quarter-finals. Danny Lamb for Lancashire into his 3rd over, 1 for 17, 123 for 4. Safe Zabe on strike. And Lamb with the floodlights beaming down, comes around the wicket, swats it back over the bowler's head. It'll bounce in front of Davis. Obviously Davis for 1 run. Safe Zabe moves to 9, 124 for 4, brings Keogh on strike. He's 48 not out from 41 balls faced. Rob Keogh been shared a 50 partnership with Mohamed Nabi. Keogh a little shuffle back into his crease and just steers the ball down towards long leg. It is picked up by Rob Jones. Think of a 3rd. They'll come back for 3. He gets to 50 as well. Rob Keogh, a half century for Keogh. 127 for 4. The Steelbacks are halfway into the 17th over. That's a terrific little 50, isn't it, for Keogh?
Yeah, great knock. Just what Northampton needed. And set a platform now so they can really try and launch it in this last 3.5 overs.
51 off 42 balls, 3 fours and a 6.
He's 3rd in T20.
Lamb around the wicket to save Zabe. Drills the ball back where it came from. Davis scoots around and cuts the ball off, sliding in, picking it up, throwing all in one motion. It's all very energetic. And they'll come back for 2. And save Zabe moves up into double figures now. He moves to 11. 129 for 4.
Yeah, it's a big outfield on that leg side from this end, and or the offside for the left-hander, and it's almost big enough that you can take an extra run for the arm.
And Lamb is in and bowling. It's a wide ball which Nabi tries to smear away through extra cover, in the end just chops it back down the pitch and there's no run.
Yeah, I'd expect Lancs to be looking for those pockets in when they come to bat and trying to push 2s.
It's like a serious part of the game plan, isn't it? The ability just to wait the shot to come back for 2 or 3.
Yeah, absolutely.
Change the field here. What Danny Lamb doing is sending square leg back, so it's a deep backward square leg, and then Luke Wells is bouncing up from 3rd man inside the circle. Lamb in bowling, and safe Zabe goes right across his stumps and tries to scoop it over the keeper's head, but through to the keeper, and there's no run. End of the over. 17 gone. 129 for 4. Keogh 51. Safe Zabe on 11. Jimmy, I think you are required during the interval, aren't you?
I am.
Yes. Are you going to pop back up?
I'll pop back up in the second half.
Thank you.
Great stuff.
See you soon.
Thank you. Cheers, James. Thank you very much. Paul Horton will come back in. Paul will need to sanitise your headphone set as well.
I was just thinking, it's a very interesting point there about the size of the ground, and it's one of the reasons why I suspect Northamptonshire have gone in with Freddie Heldrick tonight. I think they, when he made his debut up at Durham, the word around the camp was if he wasn't going to play at Durham, which obviously is such a huge playing area up at Riverside, then it was going to be difficult for them to probably get him in anywhere, because obviously I think with being a young left arm wrist spinner, you just wanted to give him a little bit of insurance, if you like. And he bowled well up at Riverside, and likewise at Grace Road. I'd say on that hybrid when Northamptonshire bowled 15 out of 20 overs of spin. So hopefully an opportunity for him this evening. He also played one home match. And now it's going to be Luke Wood back into the attack. Wicketless so far. 3 overs for 17 though, so he's been pretty tidy. 3 overs to go. He's bowling to Rob Keogh. Full toss. Keogh drives down the ground, swats it really up to long off, where it's fielded by Luke Wells coming in off the boundary. Down below us, our commentary position at the Brian Statham end. James Anderson end, of course, at the other end of the ground. One more to Keogh, 52 to him. 130 for 4, so a nice way for him to mark his decade of T20 cricket for Northamptonshire. And one of those that you look at his record in all types of cricket, and it bears comparison with a lot of better known names, and he's probably not in championship cricket. I think he's made 11 to 12 championship hundreds, and you look at some of the other players who've made those, and they're ones that would be regarded as all-time greats really. Zabe swats that away down towards fine leg. I think he's going to be caught, and he is caught. Good sliding catch in the deep, and Zabe goes. He's trying to press on, and it was Tom Hartley. Good catch down there. He just steadied himself, took it well, and managed to hang on to it importantly as he hit the ground. So good catch by Tom Hartley sends Zabe on his way for 11, and Northamptonshire 130 for 5 in the 18th.
That was a real good catch, actually, running in. He made it look a lot easier than it was. He came in quite a long way, had to put a dive in at the end, and he made it look quite comfortable in the end, Tom Hartley. But it was quite a tough catch to take. And I'm surprised it didn't end up going to Alex Davis, although
he was just behind him, wasn't he, Alex Davis?
He was waiting in the wings.
Yeah.
No, it was a good catch by Tom Hartley, and Zabe just feeling that he needed to try and press on a little bit. It was a short ball, went for a big swat, and it was a top edge, and it was in the air a long time, but there's a lot of ground for Tom Hartley to make up, and say importantly he just dived forward to take it. The ball managed to stay in his grasp. Wayne Parnell is the new batsman, coming out to the middle, picked up a little bit of an ankle injury during the match, I think against Yorkshire during the championship match. Some question as to whether he will play tonight, but he's out there. And non-strikers end as Rob Keogh, batsman, crossed, of course, while the ball was in the air, and Rob Keogh picks up a single as he drives that ball from Luke Wood up to long off. Once again, it's fielded by Luke Wells, who's in the sunshine, this end of the ground, the Brian Statham end in bright sunshine. The far end of the ground is in shadow. Keogh is 53, 131 for 5. 3 balls to go in the 18th over. And Parnell did an hour with us on the cricket show last night at BBC Radio Northampton. Very interesting chap to speak to. Some good insights into this season, and particularly T20 cricket around the world. Left arm over Wood, bowling full to Parnell, who shapes to play that away on the onside. I think it just comes off the pad. Going to get one more onto the total, and it is indeed signalled as a leg bye. Retrieved by Dane Villas from behind the stumps. So there's one more on the total, 132 for 5. Northamptonshire. Sunshine now streaming into our commentary box. Well, it's raining in Nottingham and murky in Northampton, so come to the northwest.
Absolutely, yeah.
A beautiful evening here. And Luke Wood Turning again down below us, running in from the Statham end. To bowl to Keogh, who drives that away over extra cover. That's a fine stroke, running out towards the boundary. He's not quite going to get there. Luke Wells rather comes round and retrieves. Sends in his throw to a rapturous applause down. I think that's the Luke Wells fan club down there to our left. 55 to Keogh, 134 for 5. Playing a very, very important innings for his side here. I heard what James Anderson was saying, that maybe 160, something like that, wouldn't be a bad total on this pitch. Well, Northamptonshire are going to have to go a little bit to get there. Just a couple of overs to go after this ball. Here's Wood in again. Bowls to Keogh, pulls, slower ball from Wood, well bowled. And Wood just, Keogh rather, with no pace to work with, it pulls it up too long on where it's fielded by Stephen Croft. Coming in off the boundary, end of the over, 56 to Keogh. Parnell yet to get off the mark. 2 overs to go. Northamptonshire 135 for 5, just 6 runs off that one.
A really good 4 overs from Wood. 4 overs, 1 for 22. You have to even remember his first ball, 1 for 4 through the covers from Cobb. So his remaining 23 deliveries have gone for 18. And he bowled some in the power play as well. So it's a real, really good return from Wood. Really good night for him.
I think he's been, and he's obviously a former Northampton player as well, but I think he's been excellent signing for Lancashire, Luke Wood. You know, with bat and with ball, I think he's been a smart addition.
Yeah, I think Lancashire have signed well in recent times. I think Luke Wells was a really talented and is a talented cricketer.
It's Liam Hurt. And in bowling, there's Keogh jumps to the leg side, trying to work it through the onside. Ball deflects off his pad, and it disappears down towards short third man for a leg by. 136 for 5.
Well, Luke Wood was actually at Notts and probably didn't play a great deal in Notts' team. I think he might have come on loan to Lancashire one season, and then the following year I think he came and played. So probably the taste of playing here and what he enjoyed playing on loan, and probably thought he'd come and get a bit of an opportunity. And Notts probably felt that they produced this left arm cricketer, and he can bat very well as well. And then obviously Lancashire are going to reap the rewards of it, which is great for Lancashire.
He's on loan at Worcestershire for a bit as well, wasn't he?
And at Northampton.
Yeah.
So.
Got himself a place in this Lancashire team now as Hurt comes into Parnell. That's clipped away out through the onside. Gives himself some room and just slices the ball along the ground. But Rob Jones is in the deep, fielding for Lancashire. 1 to Parnell, so he's off the mark with that. 137 for 5.
But I think if you can add a left armour into your lineup, into your squad of bowlers, I think it gives you something different. And Luke Ward is certainly that, and Lancs have added that, and Glenn's seen that and brought him in. I thought Luke Wells was a good signing for Lancashire. Incredible record in first-class cricket, Luke Wells.
It's Hurt to Keogh, goes high, goes through the leg side. Who's underneath it? You know who's underneath it. Alex Davis, who's been busy in the field in the game. He's all over the place. Wherever the ball heads, you'll find Alex Davis. And Keogh's gone. 137 for 6, halfway into the 19th over.
It's Alex Davis again, isn't it? Everywhere, like you say, everywhere the ball goes, it's a hell of a hit out there. Slight slower ball from Hurt. Keogh's obviously end of the innings. He's trying to hit boundaries and hit sixes, and he's held out midway into the deep mid wicket. It's an 85-metre boundary out at deep wide mid wicket over there to the point tonight. So it's a long way. You need to be trying to take down the other boundary really. But Keogh, with 9 balls to go in the innings, he's played a great innings. Great knock for his side. Came in a bit of trouble, held them together, and then has built through the middle period and got 56. And given Northampton a chance to get a reasonable total, I think they'll be probably below par depending on what they end up on. But I think there will be it's a reasonable total.
It's a Hurt to Parnell. That's clubbed, but to Davis, who takes another catch, and it's 2 and 2 for Liam Hurt. He's on a hat-trick. Parnell drilling it to Davis at mid-off, inside the circle. And He can do no wrong in the field tonight, Alex Davis. 7 down now, 137 for 7.
Yeah, he's come in from, obviously read that Parnell was going to go over mid-off and thought, I'll stand at mid-off and take another catch. So he's come in from deep mid-wicket on the outside of the boundary. Tom Taylor can strike a clean ball. I played with him at Leicestershire. I thought he was a good signing for Northampton. He's a good cricketer. He's a good bowler. If he stays fit and on the park, you get a lot of really good stuff out of Tom Taylor. It's a real shame he left Leicester, actually. But he's a good cricketer. He can strike a clean rock. And they're going to need a couple of boundaries to finish here.
Make some noise. Flashes up on the scoreboard. Because this is the hat-trick ball. Liam Hurt, he started with a no ball, with a few nerves, I'm sure. But here he comes. Hat-trick ball for Liam Hurt. And White defends. Out into the offside, and there is no run. Picked up by Keaton Jennings. 137 for 7 with 1 ball remaining of the 19th over.
It's a great shame. It would have been second time in commentary this season, second hat-trick I would have been involved in. So obviously there was one at the Roses clash,
which we almost forgot.
We almost forgot, yeah, in the commotion of the game and winning and all of that. It was the last ball of the game, wasn't it? So in that commotion, but we didn't. You know, there's almost and there's didn't, and we didn't.
Hurt in and bowls. White jabs the ball through extra cover and gets through for 1. So that's the end of the 19th. So Liam Hurt, 3 overs, 3 for 22, and gets plenty of high fives from his teammates. First game of the season for Lancashire, and he's picked up 3 wickets after a nervy start. He'd be pretty happy with that, won't he?
Definitely, he's picked up 3 wickets, 3 for 22. He's bowled 3 overs. Obviously, a couple of no balls. He'll be looking to sort of take them out of his game moving forward. But great, it's great to get a game and a game at Old Trafford under what is obviously a wonderful ground he wants to play at, and a steady crowd as best we can in these COVID times.
Yeah, plenty on the hotel balcony. I mentioned before, the old room service will be doing
roaring trade.
What
terrific over.
In. Yeah. Are they in to stay normally, or are they in for the game and to stay over as well, or what do we think? Is it a combination of the both?
Could be there.
Could well be. Last over. Here's Danny Lamb going to bowl it. Bowls the first ball of it to Graham White, who goes aerial down to the ground, and that's a very, very good catch by Luke Wells down in front of us at long off, tumbling away to his right. Held on, and that's a really good catch. And Lancashire's fielding tonight, well, not just Alex Davis, although he seems to have done most of it, but has generally been very good, and that's another excellent catch. And Graham White on his way back for just a single, 138 for 8, and if Northamptonshire were looking to get up to that total of 155, 160, I think they're probably almost certainly going to fall well short of that. There's a terrific over from Liam Hurt, just 3 runs and 2 wickets off it, the penultimate over. Now a wicket off the first ball. Graham White, who can hit the ball a long way, did, but this is a big ground, and there's a really good catch in the deep by Luke Wells. So White goes for a single. Brandon Glover is the new man at the crease, but he's at the non-striker's end because the batsman crossed while the ball was in the air. 138 for 8, Tom Taylor. And that's a clever bit of bowling by Danny Lamb, who parks that wide outside the off stump, and Taylor just looking to get something on it, didn't manage to do so. Goes through into the gloves of Dane Villas, and no runs from the first 2 balls of the final over. Taylor facing again. There's Lamb running in, bowls to him full length on the off stump, and this again is carved out into the offside, and they pick up the single, 1 to Taylor. 139 for 8. Crowd really getting into this game now. 4,039 as we know. If James Anderson says that, I'm definitely not going to argue. If he says anything, I'm not going to argue. But 4,039 as we know. Here's Lamb on to the new batsman Brandon Glover. Just plays that away down to backward point, just looking to give the strike to Taylor, which he does. Comes through for the single. 140 for 8. 2 balls to go. Just Freddie Heldrick left in the hutch. He hasn't batted in any of his 3 T20 appearances so far. And if the wicket doesn't fall off this ball, then he'll be able to unbuckle the pads, possibly with a sigh of relief, possibly not. May fancy his chances. Here's Taylor facing this ball from Lamb, goes for the little ramp over the keeper's head and doesn't make contact. Goes through to Villas. Quite agree, Paul, what you're saying about Tom Taylor. I think he's been a super signing, very good signing, and his figures for Northamptonshire this year, looking Championship cricket, it's a theme I've developed quite a lot over the season, but I think his figures bear no resemblance to how well he's bowled over the course of the year. He's been handy in white ball as well. Full length goes Danny Lamb, driven away by Tom Taylor. They've gone through for one, they've got to come back for two, and they do get through for two. So that's the end of the Northamptonshire innings, with 2 runs to Tom Taylor. He finishes not out 3. Brandon Glover is not out 1. And Northamptonshire complete their 20 overs on 142 for 8. Paul Horton, what do you reckon? Below par?
Yeah, I think it is. Obviously, James Anderson knows a bit more about the surface, having been out there today and having a look at it. So I think the previous women's game was played on the same surface. So there's a little bit in, to had some use. But I still think 142 is below par for this sort of surface. I think they wouldn't be looking at 160 would be about par. I think they would have been happy with 160. Anything above, they would have felt they were really in with a shout with a huge boundary out. But yeah, just over 7s or 7s. I don't think. I think they should have took that as start, and I think Northampton will be disappointed with the batting innings. It stuttered at the start, wickets early, and it stuttered at the end with wickets at the end, and it was okay in the middle. That's probably an assumption of how it's going to never really blew anything past 7 over at any stage, really.
That's right. It was just one of those evenings as well when a partnership looked to be building, and I mean notably the one between Rob Keogh and Mohammed Nabi, just when that was beginning to look threatening for Northamptonshire, it was broken, and you have to say Lancashire just stuck at it well. They held the catches. The catching was excellent tonight, and I agree with you. I think it's a bit below par.
So that's the target for this. For Lancashire to try and chase it, they'll require 143 to win the game.
So the Lancashire Lightning will be coming out shortly to chase 143 to win this crucial North Group game in the Vitality Blast. Now, each and every game, usually here at Emirates Old Trafford, we get the opportunity for a junior mascot to come out and be part of the toss and the ceremonial aspects of the game. But of course, for reasons that you understand, is very difficult at the moment. So instead, one junior member at Lancashire is very lucky to receive a very special gift. So here is Lanky to pass over a little goodie bag to Evelyn Broadbent, who is 8 years old. Give us a big wave, Evelyn. Thank you very much indeed. A big smile as well. She's received a goodie bag which includes a signed Luke Wood cap as well. So well done to Evelyn. Thank you very much indeed. Daddy's filmed every single last second of it, and the sunshine comes out for you as well, Evelyn. Enjoy the rest of the game. Now, normally we wouldn't do this either, but I wanted to say happy birthday to Jane Walden, who is 70 today, and indeed to Jockey, who is 60 today. They are here enjoying what can only be said to be a rather beautiful Manchester sunshiny evening. So it's all to come. The chase is on. Jimmy Anderson's thoughts in just a second, after remind you how 142 for 8 was achieved by the Northamptonshire Steelbacks. Well, ladies and gentlemen, you might be able to see up on the big screen, there is currently a change of marital status happening at the James Anderson end. Will you please say congratulations to Joanne and Paul? Joanne seems to be, yes, saying yes. That's a bit of a relief. Live television, ladies and gentlemen, to Joanne and Paul, congratulations. And so all we have to say after that is that let's hope that's not the peak of the drama that we have to enjoy here this evening at Emirates Old Trafford. We will welcome back Mr. James Anderson into the fold here. There's been a lot that's happened at your end. I'm just wondering if that's the first one of them.
That's the big highlight, I think, from there. There's not much nothing bigger than that's happened that end. So
what a week for the James Anderson.
Yeah, incredible.
Well done to both of those. What do you think about this? 142 for 8. The beginning and the end, in particular, for Lancashire's bowlers, really tight, really good. Stemmed the progress of the middle overs.
Yeah, I think it did look tricky towards the end. That wicket was taking some spin. The slow balls were gripping. So I think it's a decent score for Northampton. I think that last couple of overs dragged Lancashire back into the game. At one point, they did look like they were going to get 160, 165. So I think 142 is maybe about par on that wicket, and hopefully we can chase it down.
Stealing an over with a spinner in the power play is a tried and tested method here at Old Trafford for Lancashire. Stealing 2 and 2 wickets as well is a particularly successful operation if that happens.
Yeah, it was a great start. I thought both spinners bowled brilliantly. Those first 2 overs, 8 for 2 after 2 overs, that you couldn't ask for any more from them. The question was then, do they go again? They did try and get another one out of Stephen Crawford. 2 new batters at the crease. Could they have got another one out of another couple of overs out of those 2 bowlers? But they went with the seam. They still got to get them 3 down around the 6th over. I think it's a good effort. But yeah, Northampton then built that partnership and got themselves back in the game.
A word about Liam Hurt, who came into the side today because of Saqib Mahmood playing for England, of course. He was on a hat-trick, but he did get 3 for 22 in his 4 overs.
Yeah, I thought he bowled really. He came back really well. You could see he was a bit nervous. He hasn't played much cricket recently, so it can be tough to come into an environment like this, into a T20 game, and try and just hit your straps from ball 1. I think he bowled a no-ball first ball as well, which wouldn't have helped. But I thought the way he came back, his last over in particular, where he got those 2 wickets, was on a hat-trick. I thought that was fantastic.
And finally, how do they pace this chase? Because it's slightly below par, but you don't want to lose early wickets, because that's why Northampton only set 142.
To be honest, I think on a wicket like this, where it was spinning, the slow balls were gripping, I think Lancashire will want a good power play. They'll want Finn Allen to have some fireworks up the top of the order, try and get us off to a good start. Because yeah, if you get off to a good start in the power play, it just makes the whole run chase a lot easier and makes takes the pressure off everyone else coming in the middle order.
Jimmy, lovely to see you. Thank you very much indeed for spending some time with us. James Anderson with us, and we're just about to return to the cricket, so it's back to Scott Reed.
Into their squad and into their playing 11, into their facilities, and make their cricket teams better. And if you're a young player and you want to put your name in lights, you'd rather maybe turn up and play for Leicester or Northampton to play in the T20 team and get a chance of being picked in 100, not sit on the sidelines at Lancashire and not play and not have any exposure in T20 cricket. So I think there's some positives as well for Northamptonshire that people probably don't see behind the scenes.
I think it's a very fair point, absolutely, and yeah, there is money coming to the club as a result. I think the concern is, we know that that's the case in the short term. What happens in 5 years' time? That, I think, is the concern. Is the funding model still going to be that counties, the smaller counties who are not hosting, are they still going to be looked after financially? And that we don't know.
We shall see. The players are on their way out. Lancashire's opening pair of Finn Allen and Keaton Jennings wandering out to the middle here on BBC Radio Lancashire, BBC Northampton, BBC Sports Online, and Lancashire Cricket TV. I think they're back with us for the start of the Lancashire Lightning reply. Will it be enough? Have Northampton. I mean, it's runs on the board, isn't it? You're batting second on the used pitch. Spinners in the Northampton team. It's still a lot to get, isn't it, for Lancs?
Yeah, it certainly is. Northampton need to start well, don't they? They need a couple of wickets in the power play. They need things to run their way, and then they can put a bit of pressure for the middle period with spin and make it hard for Lancashire and see where they can get to. If Lancashire, blow it apart with a really good power play, then obviously it blows the game apart. And Lancashire will be thinking, we're chasing 143, but you got to set off like you're batting on a normal wicket, and you take them down. And if you can get 50 or 60, then you blow the game apart. And that's, you don't chase the target, you bat normally.
It's Keaton Jennings and Finn Allen opening the batting for Lancashire Lightning. Looks like Finn Allen will take strike, take the first ball of the reply. We're expecting Naby, aren't we, by the looks of it here, to bowl. I think you picked that one, Andrew, earlier on, that you thought he would bowl the first.
He's bowled the first ball in pretty much every game that he's played in. So I think there's no surprise there. What will be slightly more interesting is whether they go down the road that Lancashire did and bowl a spinner at the other end as well. The model tended to be at the start of the season. They would open with Naby as soon as he arrived, and then they would probably not bowl any more spin until the first over after the power play. Whether the match situation and the pitch takes something different, we shall see.
So Naby from the Brian Statham end with Finn Allen on strike. As he chipped it straight to middle for a second, he chipped it straight to mid-wicket. Just shuffling back in his crease.
Have they sorted Phil Allen's trousers out yet? He had a problem at Northampton, didn't he?
Well, yes, he lost them, didn't he? Yeah. It was well, I mean, we didn't lose them. I mean, that's not quite true. There's Naby's in, and that's chopped away into the offside, and there's no run. He was fielding on the boundary rope, and as he went to slide down, well, they basically came down and gave the Northampton.
The West Stand were agog.
Yes, he was flashing. Naby in to Finn Allen again, going back trying to force the ball away, but straight to safe Zay, but extra cover, and there's no run. So 3 dot balls to start the over. Extra reinforcements on the offside. Ben Curran, who's thought that catch had gone to off the first ball, has short extra cover. So there's 5 inside the ring on that offside. So instead, Finn Allen works it out towards the leg side and gets his first run, and Lancashire's first run as well, 1 without loss. And a target of 143 to win. I noticed during the interval that there was a marriage proposal on the hotel balcony.
There was.
A bit like Romeo and Juliet, isn't it, on the balcony?
Quite like that.
Bit too high, though.
I mean, I'm assuming she said yes. He seemed happy. It seemed like he got the result he wanted from that. From that little question. Slip in place. Keaton Jennings on strike. Naby from the Statham end. Deep square leg, long off outside the circle. And Jennings plays a little forward push back to Naby off his own bowling. No run. Final ball of the first over. Just the 1 run off it so far. As Jennings looks to try and reverse sweep it, but doesn't get it past the infield, and that is the end of the over. Pretty decent start for Naby. Just a 1 run off it. That little single that Finn Allen managed to get through the onside. So 1 without loss in reply. Oh, here we go. This is the replay of the marriage proposal. Down on 1 knee. Just realised she's up on the big screen and the entire ground watching, and in front of 4,039 people. Yes.
Oh, lovely. When you think about because the difference is that the Romeo and Juliet thing is, of course, they're both on the same balcony. A wonderful thought that Romeo was down at ground level having to make the proposal. He needed a very large and powerful loudhailer to reach the sort of 4th floor balcony. Anyway. Well, Northamptonshire are going down the all-spin route. It's going to be Josh Cobb. He's going to bowl the second over from the far end, James Anderson end. And he's going to be bowling to Finn Allen with a long on and a deep mid-wicket, the 2 fielders on the boundary. And deep mid-wicket, safe save is immediately into the game as Allen plays that one away down into the deep and picks up a run. 2 to Allen, and Lancashire up to 2 for no wicket. Must mention also being played this evening the Women's T20 International at Northampton. England against India. England 167 for 6 with 5 balls to go in there. 20 overs. Sell out at the county ground tonight. Here's Cobb bowling round the wicket to Jennings, who drives up to long off and picks up a single. His first run. And Lancashire up to 3 for no wicket. Northamptonshire with plenty of spin options, of course. Rob Keogh, the ball is off spin. And Graham White, Northampton's leading T20 wicket taker, and the left arm wrist spinner Freddie Heldrick. So plenty of spin options. Here's Cobb again round the wicket, bowls to Finn Allen, who goes for the reverse sweep. Doesn't get hold of it, and it went very much squarer than he anticipated, and just went on the bounce to Rob Keogh in there at point. His heart must have been in his mouth for a second, I think. Here's Cobb again round the wicket. Allen drives nicely down the ground, but only as far as long on, where Graham White fields in front of the pavilion, and one more run to the total. 4 for no wicket, 3 to Allen. Lights shining fairly brightly in the pavilion at the far end of the ground. Floodlights on here, of course. Beautiful evening, still some lingering evening sunshine. Cobbin again bowls to Keaton Jennings, who goes for the reverse sweep and just gets a single as it runs down to Northamptonshire batting hero Rob Keogh. One more onto the total, 5 for no wicket. Tight start by these two Northamptonshire spinners, Mohamed Nabi and Josh Cobb. Keogh was excellent tonight, 56 off 48 balls with a 6 and 3/4, held the innings together really. Here's Cobbin again round the wicket, bowls to Finn Allen, who swings that away behind square on the onside, and it rattles away down to the boundary, and that's the first boundary of the innings. And Finn Allen getting that precisely where he wanted it, and after 2 overs, Lancashire are 9 for no wicket, with Allen on 7, Jennings on 2. Just a little bit of a loose ball to finish the over, and Allen taking full advantage.
Actually did well there, sneezing off mic. Managed to press the button before I got my sneeze in. So it's actually the way that Finn Allen got out in the Roses Clash. Got too far across his stumps and was bowled around his legs by Adam Lyth. That shot's on for Finn Allen with the field set at deep long on, deep mid wicket. With square leg up, he's going to look to sweep. He was always going to try and take that on. He hadn't got Cobb away. He's going to have to do something. The reverse sweep didn't come off, so it was a really good shot to play.
There's Parnell to Keaton Jennings, just leaning forward and bring up the face of the bat, able to guide it down towards third man for a single. And Jennings moves to 3, 10 without loss. Ground's in good voice, isn't it, this evening? Enjoying the Friday evening blast match. Plenty of chanting and singing. It sounds good, it looks great. There we go, got a bit of singing in the party stand. They don't call it the party stand for nothing.
It's going to be great when that party stand is full again, and we get a full house here, and we all get back to on normality at a cricket match, especially. It'd be really good to be a part of it. And obviously, the internationals hopefully have that. But that does rock, that stand. It looks a long way up. I got some tickets for the test match from friends, and I just checked what row it was because I didn't want to be in the gods up there.
Parnell to Allen. It'll push up to mid-off, and he gets through for a single. Parnell's on his knees, falling over on his follow-through. Finn gets 1. He moves to 8. 11 without loss. Emirates Old Trafford will be at full capacity for the T20 international against Pakistan. As it stands, it's not the case for the Roses T20 match 2 days or 3 days before. That's still going to be a reduced capacity.
Is it the Saturday night, the Roses Clash?
Right, yeah. Parnell to Jennings, just jabs the bat down. Ball just trickles back down the pitch, and then Parnell side foots it onto the stumps, but Jennings was safely in.
It makes the difference to the look of the ground that stand makes. Because when we were here for the championship match, it wasn't there, and we got the famous Baywatch little pedestal, hadn't we, that the camera was on, that we were saying that it looked like something out of Baywatch where the streaming camera was, and it just looks so different, doesn't it? But what an atmosphere it's going to be when it's full.
Yeah, the party stand is in full. Yeah, it's fully kind of constructed now. It's engulfed that camera station as Jennings pulls down towards fine leg. Short fine leg, it's fielded inside the circle. Jennings moves to 4, 12 without loss.
Looks a really good start for Northampton. They'll be happy with this start. He managed to contain Lancashire. Obviously, they would like a wicket to really peg them back. Lancashire won't be too concerned about the loss of you know, without loss at the moment, but they would like to get their innings going and up and running. The power play is an opportunity to put a dent on this total.
Parnell bowling, swatted out through the onside for 6. Oh, watch out, Lanky. Blimey, that's coming your way. And he's not happy, he's up, furious. Breathe a sigh of relief, Lanky. That was hurtling in your direction. It's gone for 6, a pretty flat 6, basically aiming for the enormous neck of Lanky the giraffe. It's gone for 6, 18 without loss. Oh, he's all right. He can breathe a sigh of relief. Finn Allen moves to 14. Parnell in and ball. Trying to play the same shot, but it just deflects out into the offside. And it's gone through for an extra run. At the end of the over, it is. So 3 gone. Finn Allen has 15. Keaton Jennings unbeaten on 4. Lancashire's mascot, the target of the Finn Allen shot down below us. 3 gone, 19 without loss. The target is 143.
Quite selfishly, I actually want Finn Allen to get going tonight. I'd like to see him in full flow and have a really good look at him and see how destructive he can be. He's obviously a really talented cricketer and got a lot of power behind his game. I didn't get the chance to do that at the Roses Clash, and hopefully tonight, obviously Northamptonshire fans won't want that, but if Finn Allen hangs around and bats 10-12 overs, this game will be over quite quickly, I would have thought, because he takes the game away. So it's an even start, I would say now. If Lancashire continue on and are without loss at the end of the power play, then they make a real dent. But they have got a lot of spin, and Northants, if they can get out of these next 3 overs without too much damage, and then they can get their spinners involved. They've obviously got Nabby, who generally always goes at 6 or 7 and over, picks up some wickets. He's got a really good first over. White's got a lot of experience leading wicket taker. Yeah, they can really put Lancashire under some pressure, but the next 3 overs are key, I think, in this game.
Quite agree. Here's Tom Taylor bowling in, coming in from the Anderson end. Straight away, Finn Allen is playing that up to Josh Cobb, just on the edge of the circle, and mid-on, and they come through for a single. 1 more onto the total, 20 for no wicket at the start of the 4th over. In Northamptonshire, as we mentioned earlier, just lapsing back into the habit of losing too many wickets up front. It went a long run of matches between the first one of last season at Worcester, when they won, chasing a not particularly large total, and to well into this year's season's last programme, losing at least 2 wickets in the power play, sometimes 3, 4 or even 5. Here's Taylor in again, bowls to Keaton Jennings, who manages to just flick that away. I mean, is it 4 or 6? It's 4. And in doing so, finished up flat on his back. Now, those of us of a certain vintage will think back to Rowan Canhigh, the great West Indian batsman, who went through a phase of hooking and finishing up on his backside. Keaton Jennings did exactly that. Is he, I think, actually targeting Lanky tonight? Has he done something to upset them? It's 4 runs anyway to Jennings, who goes to 8. 24 for no wicket. And Jennings having to dust himself off. And finishing up on the floor is Taylor in again. Bowls to him, and he's clubbed that up to mid-on. It's just cleared Mohamed Nabi, and he's going to run away for 4. So this is a productive start to this over for Lancashire. It's a good shot by Jennings. Just would have hoped, I'm sure, to have cleared Nabi by a little bit more. But it's run away to the boundary. 28 for no wicket. We're in the 4th over. And 9 runs have come off the first 3 balls of this over, and as Paul Horton said, these next 3 overs, or next 2.5 overs now, absolutely crucial. If Lancashire can make some progress and hopefully not lose a wicket, maybe just 1, I would say they'll probably be in control of this match. Northamptonshire, on the other hand, can nip a couple out. They'll feel they're still very much in it. Just changing the field. They've now got deep mid-wicket out on the boundary. That's Nabi, and they're moving him round a little bit squarer, and a deep backward square. Those are the 2 out. Here's Taylor in again. Bowls to Jennings. Drives down the ground. He's going to get a single as it goes up to mid-on. 1 more onto the total. 29 for no wicket. Jennings to 13 Fielded there by Wayne Parnell on the edge of the circle, and now for the right-handed Allen. He's got deep backward square, chugging back towards the party stand. And deep mid-wicket, those are the two outside the circle. So not much margin for error for Tom Taylor. He's running in towards us. Bowls again to Allen, who carves that away over third man for 4. Freddie Heldrick just on the edge of the circle at short third. Stood absolutely no chance. Ran away for 4, and this is proving to be a very, very lucrative over for Lancashire. 14 runs off it so far. And still a ball to go. The music plays, the flags are waving. It's a terrific atmosphere of Emirates Old Trafford, but from the Northamptonshire point of view, this is not the over that they would have been hoping for. To keep the pressure on, here's Allen facing again, last ball of the over. Taylor in, bowls short over Finn Allen's head as he tries to pull, doesn't make contact, goes into the gloves of Vasconcelos. But 14 off the over, 4 gone, 33 for no wicket. Finn Allen has made 20 of those, Keaton Jennings has made 13, and Lanky is safe at time of writing.
Worcestershire Rapids have beaten the Birmingham Bears. The Bears all out for 125, chasing 175 to win. So that victory for Worcestershire Rapids moves them on to 16 points. So they're up to second at the minute. The Bears remain on 11. So a win for Northamptonshire would move them level on points with Birmingham Bears. A victory for Lancashire Lightning here would move them above Birmingham Bears. And the Durham game, Durham against Derbyshire. Derbyshire have been set 177 to beat Durham. Nabby bowls to Jennings, who's driving. He's picked up by Taylor. Just for 1 run, 34 without loss.
So using 2 of Nabby's overs in the power play.
Yeah, I think their hand was forced, obviously, with Tom Taylor's over going for that many for 14, and obviously not taking a wicket yet. They can't lose a 5th and 6th blowing out. So, really good move actually by Cobb, I think, to get Nabby back in the game and try and pick up a wicket and or try and have a really, really tight over.
Finn Allen on strike, 20 not out. Muscled out through the onside. And that's 4 runs in between the two fielders on that leg side boundary. Deep mid-wicket, long on. And he's got it past Graham White. And the score moves on to 38 without loss. The power play for Northants, 42 for 3 after the 6. And we're 2 balls into the 5th, and Lancashire Lightning at 38 for no wicket. Nabby to Allen. Drives down the ground. Good stop by Josh Cobb at mid-off. That was hit pretty firmly towards him. Got low down to his right, inside the circle at mid-off. That's good work from Cobb.
The brilliant diving stop from Cobb there. I thought it was past him at one stage, and it was one-handed diving stop, so he saved his team 3 runs.
Just what you want recovering from a torn hammy, isn't it?
Nabby around the wicket bowling. So Jennings looks to try and just a very gentle paddle down to short fine leg, but sorry, third man, but gets the 1 run, moves up to 15, so 40 without loss. 4 balls into the 5th over. This man on screen, Nabby, he's a man that Northants are looking at to try and see if they can break a partnership. This is thumped up to long on. Oh, it's gathered by Tom Taylor. And Finn Allen moves up to 26 not out. And Lancashire Lightning to 41 without loss. It brings Keaton Jennings on strike. Tall left-hander. A little survey of the field is Keaton Jennings. Nabby. He's back in the bowling. He'll skip towards the bowler. And a good gentle push along the ground. Up comes Taylor to field. And that's the 5th over done, 42.
Oh, no.
Oh,
buzzers.
Oh, dear, pick up and throw. Well, it should have been a nice, calm way to end the over, and it wasn't. It's a rather ugly one for the Steelbacks. It's gone for 4. And with the single, make that 5 on the board. Blimey. That's a shame for the Steelbacks. That has taken the shine off what otherwise was a relatively calm over. But at 5 gone, 46 without loss, Lancashire Lightning. A target of 143 to win, so 97 required off 90 balls.
It's not what Northamptonshire needed for and what Naby needed for the last ball of the over there. It was pushed after the long off. All they needed to do was throw the ball in. And Tom Taylor's probably still seething a little bit from his over. He's got a bit of a head shake on occasionally, a little bit now after he's 14 for his over on the 4th over. It was a wild throw, but you know the keeper should have got something on it, I would have thought. He's got gloves and a helmet, and the bloke at 45 backing up probably should have done a little bit better as well. But that being said, it's gone.
A scruffy bit of cricket. Here's Graham White and bowls to Keaton Jennings. He's going to get a single up to Tom Taylor at long on. And Jennings goes up to 21, 47 for no wicket. Here's Graham White, Northamptonshires leading wicket taker in T20 cricket. Gone past David Willey this season. He's gone past a few this season. Gone past Mohammad Azharullah. Obviously was a terrific T20 find for Northamptonshire. Helped them to win the title in 2013 and 2016. He's White again round the wicket, bowls to Finn Allen, who gives himself room, cuts into the offside. Jennings has come a long way round. He should have been run out if Graham White had managed to gather the throw. And now there's still possibilities of a run because Saif Zaib, who was backing up, didn't take it cleanly. Northamptonshire just having a bit of a scruffy, slightly panicky 10 minutes here. They need to calm it down. The end of all that, no run cruise, still 47 for no wicket. Here's White round the wicket again, bowls to Allen, who's gone big, and he's gone very, very big, and that's gone into the pavilion. It's landed just in the front of the older part of the pavilion, over the seats at the front for 6. And that's 50 up for Lancashire Lightning, 53 for no wicket in the 6th over. That is a huge hit from Finn Allen.
It's a massive hit, straight into the James Anderson Pavilion, and is a big hit on the best of times, but that is sailed over 20-40 metres back over the rope and into the stand. It's nearly gone into the old away dressing room as such.
Oh,
as
right,
it was.
that's what it is down there.
It was the old away dressing room to the left there on the bottom. If you're old enough to remember and old enough to play in it, which I was, but I wasn't in that dressing room. But
well, that's a big hit. That's a real.
And this is a shame. This is a challenge that the spinners have in the power play.
Yeah.
It's hard for White.
Here's White in again, bowls to Allen, who this time is driving all along the ground up to long on, and they just come through for a single. Fielded by Tom Taylor once again. The throw eludes Ricardo Vasconcelos. This time, fortunately, Freddie Heldrick was backing up, and this isn't the greatest over or two of cricket that Northamptonshire have produced this season, it must be said. 54 for no wicket in the 6th over.
Yeah, I'm not sure Tom Taylor's is going to be best friends with Vasconcelos tonight on the bus trip home. Ever thrown the ball over his head twice?
No. Here's White in again, bowls to Jennings, cuts in, short ball, but only as far as Saif Zaib, who fields an extra cover, and there's no run. Yes, I'm not sure what their travel arrangements are, because Northamptonshire's championship match starts at Cardiff on Sunday, so they're definitely not going home. Here's White in again, bowls, and that's played nicely out through mid-wicket by Jennings. They've come through for 1. There's an easy 2 as it's fielded by Mohammad Nabi just in front of the hotel. Pick up 2 more runs, and it's another productive over for Lancashire. 10 runs off it, and the end of the power play, and it's been a very, very good one for the home side. 56 for no wicket off 6, with Allen on 33, Jennings on 23. Yes, it's Cardiff, so I'm driving down in the morning. I suspect they may be doing the same.
Yes, or if they'd have pre-arranged it, they might have been pushing to go tonight and have an extra night in Cardiff. You never know with the day off tomorrow they could, but I'm not sure they'll in these COVID times you can go out on in Cardiff on a Friday night, so maybe they'll stay here. It's Manchester or Cardiff, so you know, worst case scenario is they're in one of the cities. And that power play is, yeah, Lancashire blowing the game open with the power play. Yeah, they require 87 off 84 balls now. With 10 wickets in hand, it's Lancashire's game to lose. In effect, yeah, they shouldn't lose the game from here. Shouldn't lose many games from here if you're given this opportunity. Finn Allen's got going 33 off 20 balls. He's been a difference at the start, and Jennings has played a really good hand in hitting cell boundary, but also laying it off to Allen and working a partnership, and that's what opening partnerships are all about.
We're going to see Brandon Glover from the State of the Men. I was just watching Lanky then doing his laps around the edge of the outfield, and the poor cameraman, the camera operator, trying to follow Lanky around. He was absolutely knackered as Glover bowls, and this is off the back foot by Finn Allen, out through the offside towards deep point for a single. 57 without loss. So Lanky the Giraffe. Here we go. Is that Andy on the camera there? I think he's trying to keep up with Lanky. Absolutely shattered he is. And they're both having a little sit down.
It's like something out of the Keystone Cops, isn't it?
What's a bit? Wait for me. Wait for me. A little unfair, isn't it? Because Lanky's got massive legs.
4 of them.
And yes, and not carrying a camera. 57 without loss. We're in the 7th, so we're out the power play. So the third man, there's a deep fine, there's a deep backward square leg, a deep mid wicket, deep extra cover. In bowl, Glover, that's cut for 4 by Jennings. Out towards the backward point boundary. And the score moves on to 61 without loss. There's a man just inside the circle there at backward point.
Yeah, substitute fielder Charlie Thurston. I was looking to see who he's on for.
It came hard at him, that. To be fair, I think he had a chance of catching it. It was catchable high. It just seemed to burst through. It was lovely struck by Keaton Jennings, but I think he should have done a little bit better there.
He's on to 27. Turned off the hit this time by Keaton Jennings, down towards backward square leg. I think about a second. That's Graham White picking the ball up for the Steelbacks, and the throw comes in, just restricting Lancashire Lightning to a single. 62 without loss, halfway into the 7th. Live from Emirates Old Trafford, Keaton Jennings waving away a fly, perhaps that's just buzzing in front of his helmet. Finn Allen back on strike, twirling his bat. He's hit 2 sixes in this knock of 34 from 21. Steelback still searching for the first wicket. Glover bowls. This is ramped over the keeper's head, down towards the boundary, and that is 4 more for Finn Allen, and the score moves on to 66 without loss. And Finn Allen, he's had scores in the Blast this season for Lancashire Lightning. In fact, his first time he opened the batter with Keaton Jennings, he made 60, and Jennings made 88. 66 on the board without the loss of a wicket. 4 balls into the 7th.
I think it might be Rob Keogh is off the field.
There's Glover from the Stay the Men, right over the wicket balls, back of a length. This has gone high into the onside. It will probably drop safe. In fact, it drops just at the edge of the 30-metre discs. So it's just a single for Allen. He moves up to 39 not out, 67 without loss.
Yeah, his Rob Keogh is off.
Which is a shame for Northampton, because he's an option with the ball. Let's hope it's nothing too serious for him, obviously, after his innings. I didn't know we didn't see anything happen in the field while he was doing so. He's just obviously gone off.
Perhaps put his bowling boots on.
You would hope not.
Final ball of the 7th. Glover's first. He's gone for 11 so far. It's chopped away into extra cover. Pick up and throw towards the bowler's end. But those long legs for Keaton Jennings, getting him safely home for a single. So 7 overs gone, 68 for no wicket. Allen has 39. Keaton Jennings on 29. As the supporters and indeed Lanky look on, Lancashire have made a very solid start.
They're going at just under 10s here, Lancashire. They're doing it comfortably. They're playing some really good cricket. Allen's got going. He's striking the ball cleanly, and Jennings is playing a really good hand with him. And it's they're reaping the rewards of the left-hand, right-hand opening partnership, which is what people look to do in T20 cricket. The change of hand, really helps, and you can. And they're quite a good fall for each other, I feel. I think Jennings reads the situations well. He understands when Allen's blasting that he can, if he's not going to hit boundaries himself, he can rotate the strike and let him take on the ball that's spitting into him, especially that short boundary with that nabby and that over. So I think I think it's a really good opening partnership for Lancashire, and they're playing some solid cricket here tonight. Northampton needs some wickets, but Northampton hasn't. I don't think have really got into the game since the start. No. Since their power play, they lost a couple of poor dismissals. Yeah, they've been quite poor in the field at times with overthrows. It just hasn't been their night.
No, I think that's right. It's going to need something to turn it around. And here's Freddie Heldrick, the left-arm wrist spinner, bowling over the wicket. Keaton Jennings, who plays that to backward point, and thought about a single. Finn Allen was keen, rather more keen than Keaton Jennings, I think. Goes to backward point, fielded by Ben Curran. Yeah, Rob Keogh is off the field. Charlie Thurston in the distinctive sun hat is out there at deep mid-wicket. Here's Heldrick in again. Bowls a reverse sweep by Keaton Jennings. It's running down towards the boundary. It's not going to go for 4. Saib runs round and cuts it off. Sends in a right-handed return, even though he bowls left arm. And they come through for 2. 31 to Jennings, 70 for no wicket in the 8th over. Still is a beautiful evening here at Manchester, with the sun still with us, bathing the side of the ground down to our right. The city of Manchester over in the distance. Is Heldrick in again, bowls, and that's driven up by Jennings to long on, and they come through for a couple, fielded by Tom Taylor. Sends in his return on the bounce to Vasconcelos. 72 for no wicket. Jennings to 33. Freddie Heldrick, 19 years old, from the Northamptonshire Academy. Suffolk boy, played national counties for Suffolk. Club cricket for Copdock and Old Ipswichians. Heldrick bowls short. Got away with it. Oh, but I say he should have got away with it, really. It went to backward point, and Ben Curran let it go through his hands, and they get 2 more runs, and Curran's looking very annoyed with himself. To be fair to him, it was just about on the edge of one of those old wickets, but it still wasn't a great bit of fielding, and he's looking decidedly disgruntled. And it just sums up, really, Northampton's displaying the field so far, as Paul Horton pointed out. 74 for no wicket. Jennings on 35. Here's Heldrick in again, bowls to Jennings, runs that down to short third man to Brandon Glover, and they're able to come through for comfortable single. 75 for no wicket. Jennings up to 36, 7 off the over so far. Again, this is one of those grounds, a big ground, that you would think just gives the young wrist spinner a little bit of protection, as at Riverside when he made his debut against Durham. He bowled particularly well, as I say, at Grace Road. Here's Heldrick at the end of his run. Phil Allen just taking his time. 39 off 23 balls so far. Heldrick's in, bowls from outside the off stump, and there's that rarity, the ball that's actually gone past the bat with a dot. End of the over. Decent one from Freddie Heldrick, just 7 runs off it. 75 for no wicket off 8. Of those, Finn Allen has made 39 and Keaton Jennings 36. What's the singing now? I'm struggling to hear what it is.
I'm not sure.
Is it Sweet Caroline?
Have we heard any Sweet Caroline just yet? We've got an inflatable parrot by the looks of it. But,
no, I think it's football coming home again, isn't it?
Is it? Oh, it's been a popular one.
Reprise.
There's a sanitised break going on in the middle here.
Keogh's back on.
Yeah.
It is.
I don't think we saw one of those in the Lancashire innings.
No, I don't think we did.
I'm not sure we do. Look, it's come at a good time for Northampton. If they can slow the game down, have a break, do something different, you might upset the rhythm of the batsman. But yeah, strange to call a sanitised break. It looked like all the players had to have a sanitised break there.
The Lanky's playing. He's playing kind of choir master, isn't he? He's orchestrating the crowd. He's getting all the supporters singing.
I just saw Ben Sanderson in the unaccustomed role as 12th man, wandering on with his fetching tabard. Steelbacks blue, very nice.
75 without loss. By the way, there's a start time in the game between Notts and Yorkshire. That's the top 2. They start at 8:45, 7 overs per side. And White back into the attack and bowling. Deflects off the pad into the offside for a leg bye.
Good luck trying to pick a score for that game with Notts and Yorkshire going at 7 overs apiece. Where's Trent Bridge?
Yep.
Could be 150 that.
76 without loss. The record partnership for the first wicket in T20 for Lancashire against Northants is 78 by Stephen Moore and Carl Brown in 2011. This is 76. Finn Allen is just taking guard from the umpire.
The challenge Cobb has here is, you know, bringing fielders in and trying to stop the single rotation.
White in, down comes Allen, launches the ball, upper tier I think, maybe just below, someone catch it. One little step down the pitch and he absolutely smacks it out towards the wide long on boundary for a 6. Just that little dance down and then bang, up and over. Where's that heading? Not too far away from the upper tier. In fact, I think he did land on the upper tier, didn't he?
Up tier, yeah.
Bounced out again.
And bounced down again, blimey.
Finn Allen is not thinking rotate runs, he's thinking 6s.
Well, this is the record partnership for the first wicket in the T20 for Lancashire against Northants. Again, he comes a step towards the bowler, and that's worked away along the ground through deep mid-wicket. Tom Taylor picking the ball up. Finn Allen comes back for 2, so he's 47 not out. 4 4s and 3 6s for Finn Allen. 84 without loss, 59 required, 69 balls left, and all the wickets in hand for Lancashire Lightning. White in, bowling pushed away through the offside. And Allen gets 1, moves to 48 not out. Score moves on to 85 without loss. Brings Keaton Jennings back on strike. Deep backward square-legged, deep mid-wicket. There's a long off, a long on, and a deep point. White, left arm around the wicket. Just turned across the pads by Keaton Jennings down towards short, fine leg. Jogs through for a single. 86 not out. Sorry, without loss, and Jennings moves to 37 not out. Brings Finn Allen back on strike. Final ball of the 9th. White to Allen. Ball goes high, down towards Keogh. Oh, who's dropped it? Well, it went high. Keogh came up from the long off boundary. He got hands onto it, but he spilt it, and to his horror, as that went high up into the sky, and then Keogh comes up, crouching down almost on one knee, but couldn't take it, spills it, and the partnership goes on. 87 now between Finn Allen and Keaton Jennings. Allen moves to 49 with that, keeps the strike, he's 1 shy of a 50, 9 overs gone, it's 56 required of 66 balls.
He doesn't particularly seem to be moving that well at all.
No, he's not, is he?
Rob
No.
Keogh. He looked very gingy when he came back onto the field. I don't think that's any excuse for dropping the ball that went straight down his throat. But he looks in a bit of discomfort. He's got a bit of a hobble on. He's obviously on the field to try and give them an option to bowl. But he doesn't look like he's in any great shape out there, actually.
Turning into one of those nights, as far as Northamptonshire are concerned. 87 for no wicket. Lancashire breezing it at the moment. Here's Heldrick starting a fresh over from the Jimmy Anderson end, driven up to long off for a single by Finn Allen, and that's his 50. And what a super innings that's been from the Kiwi. 50 runs in quick time, 88 for no wicket. In fact, reaching those 50 off just 29 balls with 3 6s and 4 4s. 88 for no wicket. Northamptonshire desperate for a wicket from somewhere is Heldrick, bowling to Keaton Jennings, who on drives for a single. Out to long on, fielded by Tom Taylor, coming out from the shadow of the well-populated hotel. And Lancashire up to 89 for no wicket in the 10th over. Heldrick in again, bowling to Allen, goes for the reverse sweep, doesn't make contact. He's cross with himself, Finn Allen, for missing out on a scoring opportunity. He hasn't missed out on too many tonight. That 50 off just 29 balls. It's taken by Ricardo Vasconcelos. Heldrick back at the end of his mark. Bowls again. Quicker ball. And it's cut away by Finn Allen out towards the extra cover boundary. Mohammed Nabi has to make ground round to his right to field, and they come back for a couple of runs. And 2 more to Allen, who's 52, 91 for no wicket. Joined by James Allison. Evening's here. And
good evening.
At the moment, Lancashire breezing it.
Yeah, pretty comfortable at the minute. Really good start from these two. And just trying to, I think, be sensible now from here on in.
Don't need to do anything daft, do they? Don't need to force the game. Is Heldrick in again? Bowls to Allen. Tries to cut. Comes off a thick bottom edge. Runs out into the offside. Fielded by the hobbling Rob Keogh. 1 more onto the total. 53 to Finn Allen. Lancashire 92 for no wicket. So 1 ball to go in the first half of the innings. Heldrick in again, bowls, and that's nudged away on the onside for a single by Keaton Jennings. Heldrick sets after it himself, but Mohammed Nabi gets there first, just on the edge of the 30-yard circle. And that's the end of a super 10 overs, first 10 for Lancashire. Just 6 runs off it from Freddie Heldrick, 2 overs for 13. So he's maintaining standards, but 93 for no wicket off 10, with Allen on 53, Jennings on 39.
During the interval, James, you were doing your bit for the stream, and there was the marriage proposal. Were you a little nervous that it might just all go a little bit flat?
Yeah. It's always intrigued me that. Why would you do something like that in public? Because if it goes wrong, then yeah, when you're on the big screen.
Yeah.
When it comes off, though, it looks great, doesn't it?
Yeah. If she said, actually, I don't quite fancy it, you're all right. It's a bit of a shocker, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a good job. It's a good job she didn't say, "I will if Northamptonshire win."
Jennings on 39, then Finn Allen on 53. It's a 93 without loss at the halfway stage. 60 balls left, 50 required. And Wayne Parnell gets reintroduced from the Brian Statham end. And here he comes, floodlights beaming down as he bowls to Keaton Jennings, who's just playing forward and steering it out into the offside. Graham Whitefields, and there's no run. Score remains on 93 without loss. Maybe it's actually quite a clever thing to do it in public, because you're putting pressure on, aren't you? I mean, it's quite awkward for her to say no in front of 4,039 people.
True. Yeah, very true.
Probably go back tonight and change your mind. Jennings on 39, taps the bat. Parnell left arm over the wicket, bangs one in just back of a length, and Jennings pulls up towards deep square leg. Moves to 40. 94 without loss.
Yeah, need something special here, Northampton. That's why I think why they've gone to the experienced Wayne Parnell. Try and get something or make something happen, because Lancashire can just tick the board over now and knock these runs off without taking too many risks. So it's going to have to be something special from one of the bowlers. A clever slow ball, or a good Yorker to try and get through the defences of these two batsmen.
George Cobb calling mid-wicket inside the circle, so there's a fine leg, third man, deep square, deep point, long on. It's Parnell to Finn Allen, who rocks back and muscles it out through mid-wicket for 4 runs. He's like that boundary, hasn't he? That mid-wicket boundary, Finn Allen. He's hit a couple of 6s and now another 4 to that leg side. 98 without loss.
Yeah, really good shot. Something that's impressed me about Finn Allen is the speed of his bat when it comes through. It's just so, his hands are so fast. Really does motor through the ball, and when he connects with it, goes miles, as we've seen on a couple of occasions this evening.
57 not out, 33 balls faced. Parnell in again. Oh, it's banding short. Oh, it's leaped over the keeper. It's gone down to the boundary. It's been given as a no ball.
Apart from that, it's all going really well. What makes me think Ricardo Vasconcelos isn't enjoying himself behind the stumps tonight?
It's trammed through off this wicket. What you want to see from as a fast bowler, but he's just a little bit too short with his length, and it's sailed over the head of Finn Allen, sailed over the hands of Vasconcelos, and yeah, it's now no ball and 4 as well. exactly what Northampton didn't want at this point.
Yeah. I mean, he ain't the tallest, is he, Vasconcelos? But even had he been 6 foot, I think he might have been struggling. So it brings up the 100, that. Parnell in and ball. Oh, that's cracked back down the pitch. It hits Parnell on his follow-through. He makes out like he's perfectly okay, and let's hope he is, because that was absolutely mullered back towards him by Finn Allen. Parnell kind of brushing it off to say, I'm absolutely fine, but blimey.
Yeah, they're tricky to field off your own bowling when they're coming back at that pace. You can't, especially when you get past 30, it's harder to get down with your hands. And you desperately want to stop 4, so you end up going with your foot. And
is that a wise move when it's hit that hard?
Well, no, because the pain is excruciating, but it saved.
It did.
It saved a few runs.
Skipper's not bothered about the pain, is he? There's Parnell in and bowling, chopped away by Keaton Jennings out towards deep extra cover where Tom Taylor fields, and Keaton Jennings says, give Wayne Parnell a bit of a tap on the back and says, are you okay, mate? Keep battling on. Keep limping on.
He came into this match with a bit of an ankle as well, didn't he? There's some slight question about whether he actually would have played tonight. So I don't think that's probably done a huge amount of good.
Finn Allen back on strike. It's Parnell. And that's down the leg side and signalled as a wide by the umpire. It's been a tough night for the Steelbacks. And it's quite literally a bruising one, I would think, for Wayne Parnell.
I see Rob Keogh's off again. He just looked to be struggling, didn't he?
Didn't look well, did he? Came back on for a short period, put the catch down, gone back off, have a lie down. Cold flannel over the forehead. It's Parnell in and bowling. That sliced away up and over backward point down towards the boundary. 4 runs for Finn Allen. Can't remember the last time he went offside, but he's got it up and over the man inside the ring and down towards the backward point boundary for 4 to end the 11th over. All the ones are on the board. 111 for no wicket after 11 overs. That's quite exciting. 1-1-1 for naught after 11. Chasing 143.
Imagine if there's a wicket with the next ball as well.
Wow. How good would that be? That would be sensational.
Yeah, Parnell there not quite getting it right. His captain obviously needs a wicket. Looked to his senior bowler and didn't quite get what he was after. A bit wayward, not quite on the money. And that last ball, just not where you want to bowl it. Short and wide, just a freebie for Finn Allen.
Yeah, 18 runs coming off that over, one way or another. 111 for no wicket.
Parnell's going off.
Parnell is going off now, so Ben Sanderson is on his 12th man. I bet he's really pleased about that. He's only bowled heaven knows how many overs this season already, and he's on his 12th man with the ball flying around the field. And Emirates Old Trafford, 111 for no wicket. Nabi back into the attack and concedes a single off the first ball. Keaton Jennings is cutting that one away into the covers, fielded by Ben Curran, and 112 for no wicket now. Allen is 66, Jennings is 42. Nabi's into his 3rd over, conceded 14 off his first 2, so he's been fairly tidy. Freddie Heldrick's been fairly tidy, the left arm wrist spinner, but the rest not having their best of evenings. So 2 12th men on as well, 12th and 13th men. Thurston at extra cover, Sanderson at short 3rd, and the wicket has fallen, and it's Mohamed Nabi who picks it up, and Finn Allen just picking out Josh Cobb at mid-wicket, and he's going to get a terrific hand as he comes back to the pavilion. What an innings that is. He's, I would imagine, gone a very long way towards winning the match for his side, but Allen goes, caught by Cobb off the bowling of Nabi for 66, and Lancashire 112 for 1.
Yeah, you can see how frustrated Finn Allen is there, punching the back of his bat as he is a really soft dismissal. He's just looking to punch it down the ground for 1 off the back foot and finds mid-wicket. Hits it straight to him. Really easy catch from mid-wicket, but it is a great start for Lancashire, and could prove to be a match-winning knock. That really good start.
Yeah, terrific stuff from Finn Allen, who's well, now he's got a pair of trousers that fits as well. All's right in his world, I would imagine. He's certainly given the crowd tonight a lot to cheer about. Terrific innings from him, and I would say has probably given Lightning a match-winning start. They need just another, what, 32 runs to win, 31 runs to win, with 8 and a bit overs to go, 9 wickets in hand. If Northamptonshire win this one, trip to Cardiff may seem a lot shorter. Alex Davis is the new batsman, using his feet coming down the pitch to Nabi, just playing it down the pitch in the end, and Nabi fields off his own bowling and there's no run. Nabi has been, as we were saying earlier, Northamptonshire's standout bowler in T20 cricket this year, going at less than 6 and over the whole competition. Short, Nabi and Davis looking to cut, doesn't make contact, goes into the gloves of Ricardo Vasconcelos, who's not massively enjoying himself this evening, one feels. He's had an awful lot coming to him on the half volley and 4 overthrows, and once again Davis looking to run that down on the offside, not making contact, going into the gloves of Vasconcelos, who gives a round of applause for Mohammad Nabi. In again, bowls to Davis, who just works that up to Josh Cobb. Took the catch a moment or two ago to dismiss Finn Allen, and that's a good over from Mohammad Nabi. It's just pegged things back a little bit. Just 2 runs, just 1 run off it rather, and the wicket of Finn Allen. 112 for 1 off 12, but still just 31 runs needed off 8 overs for Lancashire Lightning with 9 wickets in hand. Keaton Jennings is 42.
Just looking elsewhere, a reminder for you that the Notts Yorkshire game is underway. It's down to 7 overs aside that. Trent Bridge. Yorkshire are 16 for 1 after 3. That's the top 2 in the North Group, but reduced down to 7 overs per side. Worcestershire Rapids beat the Birmingham Bears by 49 runs in the earlier game, and Derbyshire Falcons 85 for 2 in the 10th, need a further 92 runs to beat Durham. Hildrick from the Statham end to Keaton Jennings. Turns it off his pads out into the onside, and there is no run. Notts and Yorkshire the top 2, Worcestershire third, and actually go above Yorkshire as it stands with those 2 points. Of course, Durham occupying the 4th and final spot in terms of qualification. The top 4 qualify, but they're up against a Derbyshire side who need 90 from 60 balls to win it up in the northeast. Here in Manchester, at Emirates Old Trafford, Alex Davis is on strike. He's down on 1 knee, trying to slash the ball away, but a tumbling Josh Cobb at mid-wicket stops the ball, and there is no run.
Not got this quite right yet, Alex Davis. Five dot balls to him so far. He's trying to really go after the spinners here.
Left arm over the wicket, down the pitch he comes, and hit down towards Nabi at long on. He's off the mark, he's got to run.
Yeah, I just wonder if the better way for him to go is just to give Keaton the strike, rotate the strike, get the partnership going, then maybe in a 10 balls he can start looking to attack a bit more.
Leans on his bat at the non-strikers end. Alex Davis, Keaton Jennings on 43. Turns this ball away through the onside. Safe. Zabe comes up from the deep mid-wicket boundary to throw in on the bounce to Ricardo Vasconcelos. Jennings to 44. Not out. And 1 wicket to fall out of Finn Allen for 66. 115 for 1. Hendricks bowling, and this is played just about over mid-wicket by Davis. He's going right back into his crease and steering it up and over Josh Cobb. And he gets through for 1. He moves up to 2. 1 ball left of the 13th. 27 required, 43 balls left. Keaton Jennings on 44, looking out towards the leg side. You can see a deep backward square leg. A bit flatter and quicker. He looks to try and reverse it. The ball deflects down inside the circle, and it's a leg by to end the over. So Jennings remains on 44, but 117 for 1, so 26 needed off 42 balls. Lancashire Lightning in, as T20 cricket goes, Jimmy, I mean, just about as comfortable position as you can be, I guess.
Yeah, definitely in a great position. I just wonder, the way Alex Davis has come out and started playing, whether there is a sort of, because the table is so tight, whether thinking about net run rate, you know, as you get closer to that last couple of games, it is that mid-table, take Notts and Yorkshire out of it, the rest are, you know, separated by a couple of points, so it could come down to net run rate towards the end of this group games.
Mohamed Nabi just tweaking his field, bowling to the left-handed Jennings, bringing mid-wicket Charlie Thurston from the boundary to save one, and Jennings goes for the reverse sweep, and he gets hold of plenty of that, and that's running away for 4. Beautifully executed stroke, runs away to the boundary, and great start to the over for Lancashire. 121 for 1, 4 more to Jennings. And I just wonder, it's interesting to see obviously what Northamptonshire try and do, if they can just try and manufacture a wicket, but I'm saying interesting to see what else Josh Cobb can do. He's turned to pretty much all his bowlers. Rob Keogh is obviously not fit. Here's Nabi in again, and Jennings this time just drops it down for a single. 3 fielders, including the wicket-keeper Vasconcelos, converge on the ball, but an easy single takes Keaton Jennings to within 1 run of a half-century. 49 to him, 122 for 1. Jimmy, interested to know, obviously, I imagine your first sight of Freddie Heldrick, the left-arm wrist spinner. What do you reckon? Yeah,
he looked good. He landed it well. Always good to have that sort of mystery spin in the T20 side.
Here's Nabi in again, bowls to Alex Davis, who forces that away through the covers. Is it going to quite get to the boundary? Yes, it is. It beats the dive of Freddie Heldrick out there on the extra cover boundary and crosses the rope for 4. So the way we're going, this match will not be continuing too much longer. 126 for 1. Lancashire needing just 17 more runs to win. And Mohamed Nabi just telling Freddie Heldrick exactly where he wants him. It seems to be on the backward point boundary. Here's Nabi in again, bowls to Davis, cracks that into the covers, fielded by Charlie Thurston. Yard either side of him, probably would have been 4. And he just picked out Thurston, who's in there saving 1 at extra cover. Nabi in again to bowl to Alex Davis, just squeezes that out for a single down through backward point. Heldrick coming in off the boundary to complete the fielding. 1 more onto the total, 127 for 1. With Alex Davis now up to 7 off 10 balls, and Keaton Jennings needing 1 for his half-century. Seen his opening partner Phil Allen smash 66 and then get out. Here's Nabi bowling round the wicket to Jennings, goes for the reverse sweep, and that's his 50. Gets a single down to Brandon Glover, who was in there at short third man on the edge of the circle, acknowledges the applause around the ground, and that's 50 for Keaton Jennings. Very well played. End of the over, 11 runs off it, 128 for 1, with Lancashire now needing just 15 more runs to win. 6 overs to go. Jennings reaching his 50 off 38 balls. It had to happen. It's Neil Diamond time.
It is. It's Neil Diamond time. We've been waiting all night.
It's not the 90s boy bands, of which I know
no, Wantage Road,
a connoisseur, but
yeah. That was tremendous the other week. Yeah. No, bit of Sweet Caroline. Be another bout of It's Coming Home anytime soon. That's overdue. Heldrick to Jennings, that's pushed into the offside for a single, and he moves up to 51 not out. Speaking of Wantage Road, England women against India women. India 52 for 3 in the 9th. So they've been set 178 to beat England. The game being played at Northampton. Heldrick to Davis, down on one knee, swatting the ball up and over, long on. No, caught by Nabi. Great catch by Nabi. I think for a second he thought he had enough to clear it. There's a few boos around as Nabi doesn't quite fit in with the party spirit at Emirates Old Trafford. But Davis has gone. It's a good catch that by Nabi, shifting around to his right-hand side. And that's the end of a kind of a sticky little knock from Alex Davis. 2 down now, Lancashire Lightning, 129 for 2.
Yeah, he was trying to finish it quickly, wasn't he, Alex Davis? You could see his intent from ball 1. Didn't quite have the timing that you'd normally associate with him, but Got one boundary away for his in his 7 off 11 balls. But yeah, just trying to. I think he was trying to go wider, sort of the deep mid wicket region, but didn't quite connect properly and hit it straight to deep mid on.
Happy with the catch. Wicket for Hildreth. Dane Villas, new batsman to come out, enjoying Keaton Jennings, a Lancashire skipper. So 129 for 2, so 14 needed. 34 balls left in which to get them. 5 here from Emirates Old Trafford. Floodlights beaming down. Friday evening T20 Blast cricket. Ground at its allowed capacity at about 4,000. Well, 4,039. Let's be precise. Sorry. Yeah, you provided us with that information. Hildreth bowling to Villas.
It's nice to offer something this evening.
James, as ever, you offer plenty. Lancashire captain taps the bat. Hildreth in the ball. This is an attempt to sweep. The ball deflects down towards the boundary in front of the pavilion. Villas has come charging back. Looks like he's at his second Weetabix again, Dane Villas. He's come hurtling back for, what is it, 2 leg byes. He remains on naught.
It doesn't do anything slowly, Dane Villas. 100 miles an hour the whole time.
That's Northamptonshire produced Weetabix, of course.
Yeah, of course, yeah. I forgot there was a local connection. Reverse sweep attempted this time by Villas. I'll be honest with you, folks, I'm not quite sure where that came off. It didn't come off it's come off nothing. He's missed it.
Hit the wicket keeper.
Right, okay.
Bounced into the cover region.
Lovely. Thank you, James.
Just not great cricket all round.
It wasn't,
really.
was it? No. We'll just kind of move over that. Gloss it over. Wasn't great commentary. Wasn't great cricket. Hildreth to Jennings. He sweeps to backward square leg. And Jennings strides back for 1 with no intention of a third, even though his captain was bombing through. Are you done? Thank you, James.
Yeah. It's been a pleasure.
It has.
Thank you very much indeed.
I'll catch you again.
Thank you, James. James Anderson joining us here on the BBC Sport website and app and on the live stream, Lancashire Cricket TV. There's Lanky's having a few photographs being taken. Paul Horton's going to come and rejoin us.
Yeah, well, I think we've got 9 runs to win. We'll see how far they get, and I'll hand over to you when Lancashire get within a blow, which I suspect may not be too much longer. They really have bossed this game tonight, and Northamptonshire have not really had very much of a reply, to be honest. They lost wickets early on, just losing the openers Curran and Vasconcelos in the first 2 overs. And it was Paul who made the observation earlier. They haven't really got back into the game since then, have they? But,
no, and Lancashire, to their credit, have not let them back into the game. They've dominated. They squeezed them after taking the early wickets with the ball, and then they've outpowered them with the batting up front.
Yeah, much the better side tonight. Anyway, here's Graham White. See if they can salvage a little bit more out of this game as Dane Villas picks up a singles, turning it round the corner to get himself off the mark. Fielded by Brandon Glover. 135 for 2, so 8 runs needed. Just 2 wickets to fall so far. Finn Allen for 66, Alex Davis for 7, wicket apiece for Nabi and Hildreth. And now Northampton just bringing in the field. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, saving 1. White round the wicket, bowls to Jennings, who nudges it away on the onside for a single. Mohammed Nabi comes in off the boundary to field. 1 more onto the total. 136 for 2. Jennings up to 54, 7 runs needed, and 28 balls remaining. White in again, bowls swept away by Dane Villas. He's going to get runs here, he's going to get a couple as it's picked up by Ben Curran, running around from deep backward square. Sends in his return on the bounce to Ricardo Vasconcelos, and they pick up another couple of runs. 138 for 2. Villas up to 3. Here's White in again, bowls, and that's gone big, and that's the game, and it's finished in the most emphatic manner as Dane Villas plants Graham White over long on for 6, and Lancashire have won this game by 8 wickets In the 16th over, they've won it with 26 balls to spare, and you can't get much more emphatic than that as a way to finishing the game.
No, it's a huge 6 over Wadalong into the point area, and it's an emphatic win for Lancashire. I think Jimmy mentioned the point about the run rate being crucial for Lancashire, and they played, once they got to a stage where they knew they were going to win the game, they definitely wanted to kick on and accelerate and win the game as quickly as possible. Alex Davis played an unselfish innings and tried to finish the game quickly, and Dane Billis has come in and followed that up and tried to do it. And I think on the other side, North fans tried to drag it as long as they could, really, within reason, within bringing the fielders in and playing with that. And once you get to that sort of stage, there's not a lot you can do as a captain. The game's gone. So it's an emphatic win for Lancashire. It ends Northampton's chances in this year's competition, and it keeps Lancashire's chances alive, depending on results. And I think we're interested to see how they go on at Durham and Derbyshire. Obviously, I think Lancs will be wanting Derbyshire to pull off a victory up at Durham. But it's a great win for Lancashire on their home soil, which they are a formidable lineup. They know how to play here. They know how to win here. And yeah, with this competition, the way it maps out, you want to peak at the right time. So if this can be the kickstart to Lancashire's T20 season, and they can go on and win a couple of games on the back of this against Yorkshire and Durham, I believe it is, then who knows, they'll be peaking at the right time.
Well, it's been a good night for Lancashire supporters inside the ground. They've had a good sing-song. That's the ground has been in good voice for most of the evening. They've enjoyed the way that Villas got the team over the line and won it with that big hit for 6. And one or two dancing in the aisles. Yeah, they've enjoyed the night, and it's a good win. It keeps Lancashire in the competition, doesn't it? There's little margin for error. They'll be pretty hopeful that Derbyshire are optimistic that Derbyshire can do them a bit of a favour and beat Durham up in the northeast. And already we know that Worcestershire Rapids have beaten the Birmingham Bears. The Notts Outlaws against the Yorkshire Vikings, that's been reduced down to 7 overs per side. Yorkshire 55 for 1 after 6 in that game.
It's not enough.
It's nowhere near enough.
It's nowhere near enough. They needed 80 plus. It's definitely nowhere near enough. But you never know. It's really strange that when it gets to like that, it's, you know, you can have 1 over where someone gets a couple of wickets and a few dot balls, and then the game just changes so quickly. 10s when it's 7 overs. It's amazing. It really changes.
Right, I think we're going to, for those on the live stream, we're going to head outside, get some reaction. Here's Hugh.
So there we go. It is a victory for Lancashire Lightning, a crucial one too. These 3 matches at home will set the destiny of the Lightning in terms of where they finish, and they are currently in the top 4 as a result of the victory today. There is clearly a game going on between Durham and Derbyshire, which may well change that. But Finn Allen, the player of the match for his 66 off 37. Finn, congratulations. How do you feel that went? Because judging a chase when it's a subpar chase is often difficult, but you judged it just right.
Cheers. Yeah, I thought obviously we knew the power play was key. I thought first of all we bowled really well to keep us to that total to chase. Yeah, we knew the power play was key, and we had to go out there and make the most of that. And then we just kept going until it sort of got harder to bat. And then yeah, it was nicely finished off by the boys. Yeah.
Yeah, you found your timing as well. A couple of big 6s over Cow Corner that you must have enjoyed.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a little bit frustrating lately. I've been putting in a lot of work and it just hasn't quite been coming off, so it's nice to sort of have that little bit of personal success. But again, obviously nice to contribute to the lads getting across the line in a must-win game. Cheers.
And how much are you enjoying your time here? You've had the opportunity to try and establish a relationship with the teammates, with the crowd as well. It's nice to be back here at Emirates Old Trafford to get your 66 today, but it's always difficult, isn't it? Because you know you're never here for the longest period of time, so you've got to try and make the most of it when you are.
Yeah, I mean, again, first and foremost, the crowd's been amazing here. Every home game's been so good, and it makes a big difference for us. You know, it makes us feel a lot more comfortable at home. Again, yeah, we obviously wanted to bat first, and we knew we had a bit of work to do. But yeah, crucial must-win game for us. So it was nice to put out a performance like that for the boys.
And what's the determination in the dressing room to win these last 2 and guarantee at least as much as you can that spot in the last 4?
Sorry, what was that? The music's loud.
I know, exactly. Listen, there are plenty of people battling Sweet Caroline over the course of the last few days, aren't there? Tell us a little bit about the determination in the dressing room. You know what you've got to do, so the next 2 games will provide you potentially with a quarter-final spot.
Yeah, I mean, we've just been keeping things simple, sticking to our processes and working really hard. Obviously, the lads have been playing a bit of 4-day cricket, which I think hasn't been a bad thing, you know, take them away from it a little bit and come back fresh. But yeah, we know it's crucial, we must win, and we know what a side we have in that dressing room, and we know we haven't performed to our best this season, so we fully back ourselves to win these next two at home, and I'm looking forward to it. It should be good.
And a final point about Keaton Jennings, who was there with you throughout. He was with the team throughout that chase. He's a different kind of style to you, and that's almost helping you, I suppose, because he is one of those batters, certainly at the top of the order of a T20 side, you don't necessarily see so much, but the role that he plays allows you freedom, and it's obviously bearing fruit as well.
Yeah, I mean, I love batting with Keats. You know, we balance each other out really well. We communicate really well, and obviously having a left-hander, left-hand, right-hand combination helps a lot to put the opposition off. But yeah, he's great to open up with. Yeah, like I said, we communicate really well, which makes it easy for each other and sort of makes each other nice and calm, and we can just play our natural game. So it's been really good so far, yeah.
Although he's got more reverse sweeps and scoops than you today, so have a word.
Yeah, exactly.
Well done, Finn. We really appreciate your time. Thank you very much indeed.
Mate,
well done. So that is Finn Allen after a match-winning performance from the New Zealander as Lancashire Lightning find themselves once again back in that top four for the time being. Of course, we have plenty more cricket to see here, including, of course, the Yorkshire match. But prior to that, on this stream anyway, we'll be seeing Durham next Friday night, and it is a big, big game once again. We thank you for your company. It's been wonderful to have you for a double header once again here at Emirates Old Trafford. We will see you next time after a win for both the Thunder and the Lightning.
I'm focused. I've been watching for the omens. I've been listening to everything you said. It's been running through my head, locked and loaded. I got the feeling that you know it. Yeah, I've only just begun. I won't stop until it's done, till you're broken. So welcome to the fire.